Again, I've been talking to myself. Well, thinking I was talking to you, but actually talking to myself for the last, I don't know, a couple of minutes. And I thought, well, that's strange. How come that chat's not moving or anything? Ooh, and I was just telling you how, I'm finally getting the hang of things here. Not really, clearly, obviously, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Hi, Mike. I'm gonna get this, one day I'll get this figured out. I was just, patting myself on the back for two things. Number one, learning how to use video clips during the live. And number two, this one's really in light of what I just did. The art of the hashtag, we'll just call it. I've never hashtagged anything. Well, I might like put one in the title and maybe one or two in the, where you click the little thing to put the hashtags. Yeah, but I've just decided, you know what? Those dirtbag tragedy pimps, they do what's called tag stuffing, where they just use all the little buzzwords, all the names of previous cases that they're no longer even discussing. But, like all good pimps, they're still going to get their, they're still going to use those names and further victimize those people so that they can get a few more, pennies in their AdSense. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna do the same kind of thing, but not with the victims. So I'm starting to hashtag. Yes, this bitch is gonna be a hashtagging queen. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Hi, Christy. I don't get it. No longer relevant. It's Betty's CV. Mike, I feel the same way. I am so tech. It's not my thing. It is not. Tag stuffing, yes. No, when I am not going to do, I will never put a victim's name in the tag, except if that's what we're talking about. But no, other than that, I would never do that. That's tacky, gross. Oh, son of a, pardon moi. Hey, Morton girl, how are you? Oh, so speaking of that, thank you. I appreciate that. Her comment says, great live you and Heels did. I think she's going to join us in a little while. She's got something she's taken care of. And she actually just a few minutes ago asked me if I could go on just a little bit later. So she's wrapping up what she's doing, but I already had people, waiting, and I didn't want to say, oh, sorry. But I told her what I was going to do is we will talk about something else until she gets here. But thank you, Lorton girl. Bama Cat, welcome. There's my internet husband, Mike Stevens. And a new name that I haven't seen before, but I love, As the Fuckery Turns. I love that name. It's like, I did a title the other day, Days of Our Knives, which I love. Hey, Chaos, how you doing? Fairy Dust Diaries. Girl, how come every time I see your name, I want to say Fairy Dust Fairies? I just think, I just love that name. I just picture like glitter everywhere. Okay. Well, you know what? Hey, Texas Tiffany, how you doing? Mouse, how are you? Long time no see. I hope you're well. Oh, that's Heels in the air. She must have heard us talking about her. Pardon me 1 second while I look at this. She might be giving me an ETA. We'll discuss this when you join. LOL. Hey Barbie, how you doing? Oh God, I know glitter. Ooh, I love glitter. You should see this house at Christmas time. I may as well wear like a Hobby Lobby smock because like if you ever go to Hobby Lobby, especially at Christmas time, there's just rogue glitter everywhere. And I remember asking the cashier one day, I said, "My God, do you just go home like covered in glitter every day?" And they said, "Yeah, basically we do." She said, "It's in my car, it's in my bathroom, it's everywhere." So we always the Christmas tree comes in and out of the house every year through my sliders, and I can look down in the track of that door, and I can find glitter for the past 13 years. Maybe some pine needles too. Hey Beer Can, how you doing? Well, I appreciate you listening. You go do something fun. Don't listen. You know that the song remains the same. Nothing ever changes in this dump. And you're not a fan of the glitter as the effery. It's just easier to say fuckery as the fuckery turns. Ooh, I love me some glitter. Actually, you can't see it real well, but I am wearing. Okay, well like here and what I put here and a little dot there, that is Fenty matchsticks. And then I do on the collarbones here, that's Fenty the Kilowatt blush that I use. However, I have this lotion that I bought on Amazon, and it's not what I thought it was going to be. It's called Unicorn Snot, and it's like clear gel with all this glitter in it. But it doesn't, I don't think it, I mean, for what it's called, it doesn't glitter like I want to look like a damn disco ball, okay? Okay, so while we wait for heels, oh God, you guys, I'm going to put something up that I ran across the other day. And oh God, girl, we're not going to get too deep in the weeds on it. And I don't know a lot about this person. I just, hold please. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Okay. And okay, let's see here. This is a very short clip. Oh God, y'all. This may like trigger some people. That is not what I am trying to do. I just okay, we're gonna watch it and then I'm gonna tell you why I'm showing this.
You're fine. Sorry if they look a little purple to some people right now. I don't know, but don't worry. My knees feel okay. They really feel fine. So, like, don't worry. They are purple. Don't worry, guys. Hey, we just, like, purple's a cool color, isn't it?
Dear
like,
God.
Yeah. It's pink tights. It's actually not. It's actually just my skin, but I think that the camera might be making them look like more purple than they are. I don't think like they're actually like legit purple.
Okay, I don't think we need to see any more of that. Listen, I've heard of her. I know a few years ago I saw her. Hi Tia, hey crazy nurse, how are you? As the fuckery turns, listen, I saw one the other day. She is in the kitchen with her mother. And they're talking about making something for her grandmother. Hi Nikina, how are you? Arame. Oh God, I hope that's not true. I would not be surprised. Hi Vicky. Y'all, that poor girl. And as the fucker returns, that was absolutely my first thought. What in Well, actually, no. That was my first thought. Here's my second thought, and this is not going to be popular. And when I asked my husband about it, he just kind of looked at me like, why? Why would they do that? Because when I saw that, I said, I think that YouTube should shut her channel down. I absolutely do. And listen, from what I've seen of her, she seems like a lovely girl. She has a very nice demeanor. I don't have anything negative to say about her, but my God, honestly, it pained me. Her arms. I mean, I'm not suggesting that YouTube is the cause of that, not at all. But my God, when I saw how many views her videos have, we're talking millions. I think that, I mean, it's, I don't even know what to say. But, and I guess I really can't articulate to you why I think that her not being on YouTube could maybe save her life. That's just my immediate gut thought. I mean, I haven't sat down and written a thesis on it, but that and the other is, my God in heaven, what in the hell is her mom? I mean, they're in the kitchen talking about making something for grandma, and that girl, I don't know how she stands up. I don't know how she keeps herself upright. I have seen medical school full skeletal forms that, I mean, that is truly, to me, that is just absolutely, it is, Vicky, absolutely, I'm shocked it hasn't happened yet. Says her organs are going to start shutting down. And it is such a sad disease. It absolutely is. And, I know that YouTube is not responsible for that, and YouTube isn't going to fix it. However, I think if that was not in the mix, let's just say, maybe, I don't know why she's got so many views as she does. I don't know if she's always had that many, like millions of views. I don't know if she's gotten more and more the thinner she's gotten, because I do remember seeing her a few years ago, and she was, at that time, she was scary thin. I mean, it was very obvious that she was ill. This, to me, I don't know how truly, I don't know how she doesn't even look like she's got enough. She's nothing but bone. Like, I don't know how she's got enough muscle to even hold herself up. I mean, that is one of the saddest things I've ever seen on here. And I promise you, I mean, and my heart goes out to her and her family. But I can tell you this, if that was my child, there is absolutely no way in this world I would be playing on YouTube. And especially, I mean, to me, hi T-Pack, how you doing? Hi Clancy. I honestly, I thought it was in really like poor taste to be, I mean, come on. You're going to do a cooking and a food related when it's clear that I don't think she's had food in a very long time. And I'm just telling you, if that was my child, there is no way in hell. Hey, B Tim, how you doing? B Tim, I was just listening to you guys on Queen Bee's last night, and your end of the evening routine, we'll just say, I was getting a good laugh. It is so sad, and I mean, listen, I know realistically that whether she's on YouTube, well, even if she wasn't on YouTube, she'd be on all the other ones. But I mean, am I alone in that thought? Wow. I mean, it's a complete overreach. I get all that. It's like having Big Brother. That's not what, this country's about. But my God, it's like, I don't know. It's just, I try and think about it in terms of like, if she was, if we take yourself back like 20 years before we had all the social media, and just imagine if she was, an actress or maybe a model, and the company she was working for are watching her quite literally just, disappear. Do you think that those companies would still keep their affiliation with her? Hell no, because they wouldn't want people saying what I'm saying right now, which is, oh my God, how can you stand by and endorse what is happening here? I just think it's just crazy sad. And wait, T-Pack, what does that say? I'm finally blocked on the Bullhorn Betty and Crimes with Betty. Does Betty play the crime part of that sentence? Oh, I didn't even know she had another channel. I guess the jig is up for me. She was conflating C-Pack with T-Pack. Well, she loves C-Pack, so what's the problem? We're going to talk about that roach thing. Like I said, Beavis and Butthead. Hey, Mama Bear, how you doing? Montana Jade, how are you? Hey, Saucy. I don't know. It is. I don't know why she even came up in my feed. I haven't seen her in years, but as I was doing some things the other day, I saw her thumbnail and I was literally blown away. How much do you think she weighs? I mean, my guess, I think she's a tall girl too. My guess, I bet she's 75 pounds, if that. Oh, Mama Bear, no, I'm sorry. That was me being old and veering off down a side road. So I didn't forget the thought that was in my head, but we were talking about something else. I was talking about Eugenia Cooney. There's a couple more. Well, let me see how many more seconds is left in this video. There's like 30 some odd seconds left. Mouse says about 75. So, Mama Bear, we were watching, apropos of nothing. Just Eugenia Cooney came across my feed the other day. I haven't seen her in a while, and she is so thin now that Crazy Nurse, did you see it? SoFlo Mama. Oh my God. How ironic that you put that comment there. Were you here when I just looked at I read the text message and I said, we'll discuss when you get here? Hey, Rebel Rose. Well, my goodness, that text is about your comment. Well, not you personally, but it's the subject of your comment. Hold on one moment. Let me. Very interesting. Yeah, I got a screenshot of something based on that very thought. So, oh, Texas Tiffany, good for you, and you keep at it. Do whatever you have to do to stay healthy. I know I have always heard that eating disorders are one of the toughest things to overcome, because unlike alcohol, substances, you have to have food. So I have always heard it's very, very difficult. So yes, Flo Mama, great minds do think alike. Okay, so that's that. We're not gonna, especially since I've got people in the chat that struggle with this. We're not watching any more of it. I don't know. It was just one of those things where I was just curious. Okay, so let's do it this way. Put a 1 in the chat. Oh, I hate that. That's such a douchey thing to say. Sorry, I don't have anything else. Put a 1 in the chat, please. If you look at someone who is obviously very, 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 very ill, and I mean, I don't think you have to be a physician to make the assessment that I would be shocked if she was here this time next year. If she stays on that track. But number one, if one of your immediate thoughts after the one I just made was, oh my God, she does not need to have a YouTube channel. One, if you agree, and I'm not saying you can't change your mind later, but if that was like one of your first thoughts, put a 1. Put a 2 if you don't think that has any bearing on her maybe being a contributor to her disease, and that possibly being, I don't know. I'm not phrasing this right at all, but I think you guys know what I mean. Because that was after I picked my mouth up off the floor, and I mean, I just thought, dear God, I mean, it's so sad. Listen, y'all, I've already cried my eyelashes off once this morning. I'm not doing it again. And I know there's a lot of people who think I'm probably the biggest bitch in the world. I promise you I am not. I feel like I'm a very compassionate person. I I don't want anybody to think that I'm saying I am not faulting that girl, Eugenia Cooney, for what is going on with her at all. It's not, this is not any kind of personal attack. I just was so shocked when I saw her. And I don't know, I think it's just part of like a bigger problem that all this social media has. This is like a little Pandora's box that's been opened up. And I mean, do we as a society bear any responsibility when people who are struggling, I mean, look at how many people have huge channels just because they're a boiling hot train wreck of a mess, you know. And when they ultimately self-destruct, do we as the people who are buying into it and watching it and giving it, I don't want to say validation, but you know what I mean. It's an interesting question that, I mean, hell, I don't have the answer, but eventually, just like kind of like the law has never, all this social media and this Pandora's box that has been opened upon the world. Oh, I did a prayer garden-ism. Except I used it right. I Show Speed is a good example, guy. 17 years old and a millionaire, but says and does. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Crazy nurse. We're both bitches. Own it. Oh, listen, I'll own it all the way when I'm talking about some dumbass like Betty, who's stand by for her. But I think that when people, that's what they know you for, I think you get assigned that label where everything is concerned. And oh God, hey Heels, our guest has arrived. We were just talking about Eugenia Cooney and the bigger, what I was getting at is now that we've been in this social media circus for a while now, but okay, I just put the link in the chat for Heels. The law is going to have to catch up with social media and the things that go on social media. And I don't mean things like, you know, Eugenia, but, you know, doxing, stalking. It takes time. It always takes the law time to catch up to what's going on in society, you know, things that we didn't have years ago. So we don't have, you know, you have to kind of make it up as you go along as far as putting laws on the books and, you know, things like that. So okay, Heels, no problem. She's going to be like, oh, Heels, you might be in, if you're not seeing who I'm, like if I comment on somebody's chat that you don't see, go to the other channel. Sorry. Damn it, I'm supposed to say that in the beginning and I forget all the time. So yeah, I just think it's, oh yes, Betty live streaming a court hearing when she knows it was banned from being live streamed. Yeah. You know, and something like that. You know, here's the sad reality of that is judges, he has no jurisdiction over Betty. They're across the country. Judges expect decent people like me and you and almost everybody else on YouTube. She was the only one I know about that went in direct opposition to his order. And bitch, keep screwing around like you're doing, okay? Because we've all heard your little video about, oh, the haters are going to be real surprised on Monday. Bitch, I don't care what you do. I wouldn't want your shitty life. And I don't care if you think you found a loophole. Bitch, go ahead, Betty. No, listen, none of us care. Those of us that have real lives anyway, we don't care what you do. You go ahead. Where the judge doesn't understand Betty's way of thinking, although actually I'm sure he does, because he deals with losers all day long who can't obey the rules. Most people like myself and everybody in the chat, well, when a judge, whether or not they have jurisdiction over you, when a judge says, do not do this, do not do X, Y, and Z, there's a reason for it. And because Betty believes that, just look at her 42 entries in the civil and criminal docket, okay? Betty's got a long career of thinking that Betty knows better than anyone else, and Betty does what Betty wants. I mean, you all do realize that we have these big buildings all across the country, and they've contained within those buildings. Well, we've got these little tiny rooms. Well, I was going to say they're about the size of my shoe closet, but I'm not sure on that. But yeah, that's probably a decent analogy. And they have these pretty, well, they're not pretty. They have these, long vertical iron bars. And those buildings called jails and prisons, they are full of people just like Betty, in varying degrees, who think that the rules don't apply to them. They can do whatever they want. And it gives you a little bit of an insight into what goes on up here when she says things like, oh, all the haters are going to rip. I forget how she put it, because I don't care. But basically she was telling all the haters, Betty, I don't think anybody gives a shit enough about you to hate you, because to hate someone, you must first have strong feelings of at least liking them very much. No. And because someone speaks truth and facts to your bullshit and lies, that doesn't make them a hater. And to call other channels roach channel, Betty, how old are you? Do you hang out in like the locker room at Planet Fitness, like the boys' side? Although I would imagine those are a bunch of adults in there, and they don't. I have never heard one adult, besides the tragedy pimp dirtbags, I have never heard one adult call another adult a roach. It's so juvenile and stupid. Like, Betty, you speak and you think, well, I don't have crayons, I'm sorry. So let's pretend this is a highlighter, as close as I can get. This is what you think in. And I'll say that. Oh, she hangs with Dolly. That is his saying, calling us roach channels. Dolly, sorry, you're gonna have to do better than that where I'm concerned. I don't think anybody would call me a roach. And if you and all the rest of those idiots like got your collective IQ, like if we took all your IQ points and added them up and then we averaged them, you probably don't know. I don't know if you got that far in math, but you know, we would have to take them all, we would add them up, and then we would take that number and divide it by how many pimps we're talking about. That would give us an average. Your collective average does not equate to my singular. So you're going to have to do better than calling people that do what I do roaches. I mean, that's the best you've got, truly. Wow. Read a book. All of you idiots need to read a book. You might expand your vocabulary. Now, I would prefer it was a book without pictures, but we got to start somewhere. So Betty's evading. Oh, SoFlo, yes. Betty reminds me of the person who doesn't work at the gym but walks around and calls herself a trainer. Yeah, but as soon as you like looked at her, that theory would go boop right out the window. I'm just gonna read a couple of the chats because they're pretty funny. Do y'all know how long it took me to figure out that ban evading is 2 words and what it means? Because I've just never heard that term before recently. And what was hilarious is, when we talk, we're talking fast. So to me, it sounded like everyone was saying ban evading. And I'm like, what the fuck is a ban evade? Ban evading? What's a ban evading? And then the light bulb went off and I was like, oh, it's 2 words. It's ban evading. Kind of like when Betty says she's an advocate. That's why I always tell her there's a D. That reminds me. My God, that dumb bitch. She actually, was it yesterday or the day before? I can't remember. Doesn't matter. She used the word behoove yet again incorrectly. Why does that never get old for her? I wonder. I cannot understand that mindset. Like, if you consider a big group of people out here who point out all her foibles every day, Betty, I'll give you a super chat if you can tell me what the word foibles means. No, I wouldn't give you a super chat. Hey, Teddy Bear 55. Well, that was very nice of Burnt Toast to send anyone my way. I appreciate that very much. She said this. Okay, wait a minute. She said this morning, this AM, she had to pay $50K for her 18-month certificate at a private school for her legal education. Let me enlighten you on that school. And TPAC, listen, I think this is one instance where she is absolutely telling you the truth. Now, as to the price, here's why I believe it. Maybe not exactly that much. However, it might be close. And here's why. And I've done several episodes where this has come up. I am very familiar with where she went to school, at least where she said she went to school, which was Kaiser College. They're all over Florida. I'm not sure about the rest of the country, but I would imagine they're everywhere. Up until recently, and I can't tell you how recently, but up until the last at least a decade, it might be longer, I'm not sure. What I always say about where she went to school, I say that it is a finance company that gives you a diploma or a degree of some type for the pleasure of, because the way it works, at least the way it used to work, and I think they still operate under this principle. Okay, anybody can get into these schools as long as you will sign on the dotted line for the financing end of the education. I do not know I don't know what the current state, I went to a state school, so I could take my degree and go to any state school in Florida, and they would have to accept my degree and all credits, and I could pursue a higher degree. I do not know what the current state school rate per credit hour is. Because I'm old as dirt and I have not been in college for a very long time, but most courses were 3 credit hours, some 4. I think like all the core classes, like English, math, I believe those were 3 credit hours. And I do not know but let's just say, and this number is not going to be right, but let's just use it because it's easy. Let's say in a state school in Florida, a credit hour is $25 per credit hour. So $75 per course. Obviously that number is not, we're using that number because it's easy. I can do it in my head. Where she went to school, which is I don't think they're private anymore. God, I wish I could tell you what episode it was. I actually had a printout about Kaiser College. So at one time, I think they are now considered, there was a reason that they went from, the government was cracking down on these places like that were charging, if a regular credit hour at a state school was 25, it would be 75 at theirs. But here's why. Because they'd let anybody in. I mean, I don't think you even had to have, I know for a fact you didn't have to have a diploma, a high school diploma. I know you could have a GED. And it didn't matter what your grades were. I mean, you could have a 1.0 GPA and they would take you. Of course, they're going to tell you you've got to do all these remedial courses to get caught up to college level. And oh, by the way, you have to pay for those and you're not getting any credit towards the program you're actually trying to be in. So they will take anyone. And typically, by the time you are done paying for your degree, you could have gone to Harvard for what it costs. So while I do believe we all know she lies on the regular about everything, that she may actually be telling the truth, because that's just how those schools operate. Damn it, I wish I could remember the name. If you Google it, there is a movie on Amazon about this very thing, and how these schools they're preying on people is what they're doing. And I know when the government started cracking down, one of the things that these schools were told, the one she went to, here's a funny little, here's an interesting little aside. And this came from a New York Times article several years ago. Hey, Kathy Pease, how you doing? That school they owned, okay, so how did this go? They opened, it was kind of complicated, but, and I'm leaving a lot of stuff out, but when we get down to the brass tacks, it was this. that school, they owned the building and the land. They set up like a subsidiary company that had to pay them, had the school paying their other company rent. All the computers in the school, they were all had a contract with another family member who owned the computer company. Same thing with the books that you had to buy from the bookstore. They even owned a hotel where employees lived and paid rent to them. They owned a private jet. So, like I said, if you're interested, just Google it. You can find the doc. I wish I could remember what it's called, but just put in private school. Well, you'll figure it out. You'll know what to put in, and you'll find it. First page. It won't be hard. But there was something I was going to say about that. Damn it, what was it? Oh, when the state started cracking down, when the government started cracking down on these schools, they told them that they had to prove that their students, upon graduation, would be able to pay back their financing. Oh, I did mention that they also own the finance company, right? That was financing the students, who basically it was the only one, unless they preyed on people who were not able to just go to the bank and, either take money on a HELOC out of their house or, a traditional loan. So they told them they had to be able to prove within, I want to say like 3 years, maybe. I don't know, but they had to be able to prove that the students, hey, Queen Bee, how you doing? That the students were able to earn the amount of money within the specified time that they had borrowed from the school. So that is where she went to school. Which, very interestingly enough, was it you, SoFlo? Somebody put in the chat that, well, my goodness, her school is no longer listed. So, TPAC, she may actually be telling the truth, and I'm going to assume that she probably is. You know why? Because she is an idiot. She's adult, and she is exactly who those schools are looking for. Someone who ain't that bright, who's going to sign on the dotted line. That's why I say it's a finance company that gives you a degree. So that's the long and the short, the way too long, and the. I wish I could have been. I wish I had. I'm trying to think, if you wanted to go back and look how long ago it was that I talked about that. It's not been too long. Probably. Oh hell, I don't know. But if you really want to know, just leave me a comment in the video, and I'll find it and put a link to it. Hey, Luigi Lollipop, how you doing? Oh, why are we congratulating Alabama? I didn't even see Alabama come in. What happened? Something good, I hope. I'd love to hear about something good happen. Hey, Brunhell. I don't see Alabama's. Okay, I'm going to put the link out again. Oh, there's Alabama. How you doing? What happened? Something good. Do tell. I love to hear something good. We don't hear enough good. So I was listening before I came in here. I was actually listening to Queen Bee's from last night with B. Tim Joneson. Oh my God, she was hilarious. Wow. She was feeling no pain. That's that was pretty funny. B. Tim, how the hell can you ever be cold in the state of Florida? My God. You couldn't come to my house. You and my husband need to move in together because he's always, his standard mantra when he opens the door is, Jesus, it's freezing in here. I always tell him, I'm like, you can get warm. I can't get cool like you can get warm. So find a sweater. Hey, Night Owl, how you doing? Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you see some like-mindedness going on up in here. Okay, so Heels, that text you sent me, interestingly enough, that question you asked about did the college get removed from the CV? Well, the chat told me that I guess Betty was railing this morning that she had to spend 50. Now, let's think about this, okay? What kind of an idiot are you when you think it's like a flex to tell people that you spent $50,000 to get an AS degree? I guess that's what she got. I mean, like I said, I haven't been in college in a very long time, but I don't believe it cost $50,000 to get a. I think I might just have to check while we're sitting here. We'll ask Siri. Let's see if the bitch wants to work today. She always seems to want to work when I'm not speaking to her and usually when I'm live. So let's see now. This is going to be a good experiment. Hey, Siri. What is the average cost of a 2-year college degree in the state of Florida? Well, look? Let's pick the first one. This is from develop an app. Did y'all hear me say anything about developing an app? No. See, just like I told you. She wants to work when I don't need her and vice versa. So now I'll type it in since she doesn't understand me. Okay, we'll just say, what is the average cost? Heels, I put the link in the chat. All right. Oh, I need to put the state of Florida too. In Florida. Okay, let's see. Oh, my goodness. What do you think is the first thing that pops up? Kaiser University. Oh, 100% online options available. Okay. They're not going to tell you. They are definitely not going to tell you in a Google search because they don't want you to run screaming like your hair is on fire. So no, Kaiser's not going to tell us. Let's see if they'll tell us in a, oh my goodness. Ready? Are you ready for this? Community college review for Florida. Community colleges. The average tuition is approximately $32.80 per year for in-state students and $10,578 for out-of-state. Oh, for private community colleges, which Kaiser, I know at one time, probably when she would have been there, would have been considered private. When the government came in and was starting to crack down on this shit, they basically said to these schools, You want to stay private? Fine. You prove that your students within X amount of years can earn what as a yearly, I think they told them as a yearly salary, what their education cost. Something very similar to that. Private community colleges, the average yearly tuition is $16,140. So if she says it cost her $50,000, well, maybe she was on the 3-year plan. I don't know. Or she's a bullshitter. I don't know. Or I guess there's an off chance it could be true. My guess would be A or B is probably more like it. So there you have it. Oh, the community college with the highest tuition in Florida. I've never heard of this school. Their tuition is $28,000 a year. So there you have it. She may be telling the truth, but my goodness, I don't think it's a flex to be telling people that you spent, how much did I say that was? Let's just call it 4 for the public. So that 8. So if you, oh hell, we'll throw in several thousand for books. Let's make it 15. I don't know about you, 15 versus 50. Which one are you going to pick? God, she's so full of shit. Oh, yo, Sunflow, yes. Do you know how many times I've told her to get her money back? Why doesn't she sue them? She likes to sue everybody else. Headstones and oh, that's awesome. I'm telling, tuition, it's nuts. Brilliant hell, I agree. Her education reflects her knowledge. Yes, I agree. She's something else. All right. Well, speaking of her, let's see. I'm gonna queue up. You know, we were gonna finish yesterday's, but there's some brand new idiocy that's surprisingly not at all happened. So, PP-gate. To be fair, Betty probably owes overdue fees. Oh gosh, isn't her little hearing coming up for her? Oh, do you think she put her school? Do you think she put it on a credit card? She probably wasn't able to get a credit card. Headstones. The name of the school is Kaiser, Keiser. Unless she's changed that since, I don't know, because very interestingly, I don't know why that came up this morning. Who knows why she does anything, but it was always on her little, I don't know, I don't believe Betty's ever had like any jobs that would necessitate a CV. She's, why would she have one anyway? I don't give a damn if she went to friggin' Harvard, okay? You're gonna hire her? If she walks in and oh, let's see. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Oh, yeah. Oh. You don't play very well with others, do you? We're really looking for more of a team player here. Yeah. But, thank you so much for stopping in. And I'm going to be sure, we're going to put this in our filing cabinet, and I'll be sure to give you a call if something becomes available. Not ever. Oh, God. So what I was going to say about her, her very indignant assertion that she is going to be live streaming. Betty, I don't know if you're a masochist. I think you are afflicted with many things that are coded and contained within the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual. That is the Bible of the mental health industry. Oppositional defiant, maybe a little masochist, delusions of grandeur, blah. Oh, speaking in third person, I looked into that when I used to talk about Prayer Garden of America, and it isn't that interesting that's those two are, they have a lot in common, don't they? Well, that says a lot. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be lumped in. Like, I don't want anybody when I say this, you say that. No, don't. I don't want to be in any list or room or anything where Prayer Garden or Bullhorn Betty are listed. No, thank you. But I think the whole speaking in third person, I don't know what it is. I don't know what that is besides not right. I don't know anybody who does that. But I think I would say to her, Betty, while the judge may not have jurisdiction over you, I promise you this. If you want to go ahead and keep ignoring what you've been told, I mean, is it not enough that most of YouTube throws up in their mouth when your name is mentioned? I mean, is that not enough for you? And by the way, we're not laughing with you. We're laughing at you. You are the joke of this community, okay? You can tell yourself whatever you want. I can't explain how the pyramids landed in the desert in the Middle East. I don't know why a camel can go without water for extended periods of time. There's a lot of things I don't know the answer to, like how you got 25,000-ish people to subscribe to you. I can't answer that. I have thoughts, but I do find it very terrifying. It doesn't it doesn't bode well for, well, I shouldn't say that, because this really, I know Betty thinks she's like a big top dog and she's a real big fish in a little pond. Betty, you're the fish that got flushed down the toilet, okay? This is just the teeny weeny tiniest speck of the internet of YouTube. And you keep going ahead and just making more. Betty, most people, when you have to be in a community, now granted, we're in a housing project community. This is definitely like, we're in, we're that's where we are. But be that as it may, most people don't want their neighbors throwing Molotov cocktails through the window when they drive by. I don't know, most people just try, and we don't all have to love each other and sing Kumbaya and we don't, but you definitely have a way of making a lot of people feel a certain type of way, and it's not a good warm fuzzy feeling. And I'm sure you would say that I'm just doing my job. That means I'm doing my job right. Well, no, you don't have a job. And hello.
Hey.
I was just telling Betty that if she goes ahead and insists on, if she thinks she's found some loophole, well, I mean, I find it very comical that she has some strange idea that she might know some point of law that the judge does not know. I mean, that's basically what
Oh,
she's saying. So fine, let her, while he does not have jurisdiction over her, I will say this with certainty. If she wants to keep doing one of these in his face in direct defiance of what has been made very clear to her for very specific reasons, she's a fool if she does not think that some phone calls can be made and she can be dealt with.
Are you talking about when she streamed the West trial?
Well, she said yes, but what I was just addressing is apparently she has said that, and I did hear it with my own ears, that she has the haters, or she has to get, quote, creative, but we're going to do it. And on Monday morning, the haters are really going to be something I couldn't understand. So yes, that's that. So
yeah. I mean, she knows that nothing is really going to happen to her, and she always pushes it, just far enough. I don't think she'll do it again.
Oh, she says she's doing it again.
Oh, she said she's doing it again?
Yeah, Monday morning.
Well, that's what I was asking. So she has said she's doing it again.
Yes.
Okay. Okay,
Yes.
that in the background is not a pig. It's my dog eating a treat. Just so y'all know.
I can't even hear it.
My God. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe that's clickbait.
I heard her saying it. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe it's in this clip from this morning because I think
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one. I'm gonna cue it up now, and let's see here. Okay, I believe this is the latest one. She's in the car.
That was yesterday, I think. The latest one, she doubles down on what she said in the car.
Okay. Let me look in her. When I looked in the queue, this looked like it was the latest one. Does she put them?
Bashing Tragedy Pimps has it.
Okay, let me see. Oh, I think I might have watched that this morning, but I'm going to go to their page. Okay. Oh, we have something from 1 hour ago. Keeping Up with the Bullhorn, is that?
Yeah.
About 9 minutes.
Oh, is it 9 minutes?
Yeah, she's in her bed.
Right, it's the one where she's in her bed. And I don't know how, she's in her bed.
Okay, so that one is after the one
right.
that I have queued up.
Well, I mean, you can play the one in the car. She's just doubling down is all she's doing this morning. Well, and she talked about her college education. So when was that?
Oh, interestingly, somebody, who was it? T-Pack put it in the chat. Hey, Coco. And apparently, it's really interesting. You sent me that screenshot, and it was put in the chat that she said this morning.
Yeah, that's the one.
She paid $50,000 for a 2-year
associate's degree.
Yeah,
because that's what she says she has.
Yeah. Well,
but what I sent you was from her LinkedIn.
Yeah.
It now says I don't know if she was trying to say career or what she was trying to write up there, but the university is gone.
Yes, and she spelled it. This is very professional. I know I always want to hire somebody who at the very top in bold says Caref. No, I'm sorry. Careefe. Is that a new word?
That's under education.
Well, what the fuck is that? Like, is that supposed to say
career.
Yeah,
Maybe.
no, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, whatever it is, we know it's not a word.
Right. I was just wondering why she took the college off.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about that, and I wonder if I don't
Well,
know.
I know Constance called them and they told her they had. See, I didn't. I employed people that we would have to do backgrounds on, and you had to have an official letter from with their signature to get any information on their education. So, but she said they told her she had attended, but they wouldn't tell her.
I'm shocked they even did that.
Yeah, but I don't know if they told her she graduated or not. I think she said they did, which
Of course she
I
would.
didn't know they would do that.
That's what she would say. Yeah, I've commented on this before with her and some of the other ones. They interestingly take Queen Bee's chat says, "I'll take no career for 500, Alex."
Hey, Amy. Well, the thing is, it's just hard to watch her. That's why everybody questions it. It's hard to watch her talk about legal things and watch her write. I mean, you can look on her LinkedIn and look at where she talks about being a real estate agent. Not much of an education. I mean, it
I
doesn't
don't believe she
scream.
can pass the test. It's difficult, the real estate exam. It's not.
Yeah, she did get a real estate. She had it for a year.
That's fucking shocking. Yeah, but she
And
wasn't a broker, right? She
no,
was
no, no, no,
okay.
no. Her dad, I think, might be a broker. And I think she worked in his office. And in the law office, she was just basically doing forms. But I think anything she does for 5 minutes, just like her reporter career, started in front of the laundry's house.
That bitch has never been a reporter in her life. I, something she does that some of the others do too. They're slick enough to know that there are things they can lie about that we're not going to be able to fact check because
Right,
they're
you can't check it.
private. Yeah. So, and I
Yeah,
believe exactly nothing that she says.
yeah. Well, Burnt Toast showed where she worked for the attorney. There was like three of them. None of them were. They were all slip and fall type
I would like to
attorneys.
see that. Is it on her?
Burnt Toast did a whole video about it. Yep. And she was doing fake. She was falsifying. I think it was W-9s for people to get
Oh, I remember that for
loans
sure.
for loans for
Who does
yeah,
that?
because you talked about it. Actually, I think I clipped you in my video about it.
Oh, yes, yes, yep,
Yeah.
I remember.
So she did work doing that, but that's filling out a form. I don't know that I would call that paralegal. They can call you a paralegal in their law office to make you feel, special, but paralegals, I mean, they know a lot about the law. They do everything practically the lawyer does, except they can't try a case. So I don't know. I just don't find her to be
Anything?
well. I don't know, she's a dichotomy, but not a legal scholar by any stretch.
No, no.
But I think she could learn, and I think she could,
No, you know
put
why I'm going to tell you she can't? She can't learn because she is
arrogant.
yes, she's a vapid bitch who thinks she knows everything. That's what makes her so ignorant. I don't drag her because she makes mistakes. It's because she's so ignorant. She's so I don't know what's wrong with her inside that she can't ever admit fault or nobody knows everything. We're not expected to.
Mm-mm.
And when you are closed off like that, you will never. That is why she's still a middle school boy in mentality.
Yeah,
because
I think she's had to say she was wrong. Like, if you look at her record, how many times did she have to explain
explain.
all the arrests? I mean, one after the other after the other. She has it, she's explaining it to her family, to someone she's going to work for. So maybe it's just, I'm not explaining shit anymore because it's not really,
I could,
it became overwhelming to have to explain,
well,
you
yeah,
know?
42 entries. That's a lot of explaining. It probably would be easier just to color some pictures.
Yeah,
I
well,
I
just to
I
ignore
can
it.
dance with that. Okay. I can find a way to like, okay, fine. That we'll put all that aside. She's tired of explaining it. Okay, I can get that.
Well, I don't even mean tired. I mean, she's just gotten to the point where she's not going to explain it or she's going to lie about it because for her, it's too overwhelming to be her, to have that much
Well,
on you.
I can okay, I
So
can
she wanted to come to YouTube and be someone else. I'm not that person that has all that shit. But unfortunately, when she was in front of the laundry, she was such an ass that people looked her up and it was all over Twitter. I mean, before she ever got here. So it followed her.
I was gonna say she didn't start being an asshole when she got to YouTube.
No,
She
no.
just found a stage for it.
Right.
But put all the criminal shit aside. Put her civil and her criminal. Put the entire thing aside. Take it out of the whole equation. She's still
A
is
bitch. A
never.
bad bitch.
She can't. When you are defensive about everything, you want to argue about everything, which is because she's wildly insecure. That those are the people that are not open to, only an idiot and somebody riddled with issues would think that someone who, I mean, we all know when we're speaking with someone who knows more than us, whether that's because they, their profession, they're more educated in what they're doing, whatever the reason is. If you can never accept the slightest bit of criticism on anything, you will not ever grow. You will just stay like she is. Where she
Absolutely.
is.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not even her criminal record. That's just
No, I'm talking about her mindset. I'm not giving her excuses. I'm just saying once you passed a certain point, there's no explaining 8 domestic violence arrests. She says the cops made it up or he made it up and he's the one that's violent. I mean, there's only so many times you can say that stupid shit, you know?
yeah. But
Yeah.
even if we did just say, oh, it's in the past, it's not
Yeah,
relevant.
she's still stupid. She's still stupid. She's still arrogant and has no self-awareness. She'll say something. If I said some just ridiculous shit about a law and I go on and on about it and someone says, look, let me show you where this is already law, where what you're saying won't work. She ignores that. I would be humiliated
And that's
to
what
go
makes
on and
her the ignorant bitch that she is.
right.
That. So,
Okay, we solved it. Thank God.
yeah, we might have solved it, but it ain't never going to change.
No, I don't think she's going to change.
Burnt Toast, hello. Boston
Is
Nick,
she in here?
hello. Yep, she came and just, oh, real Lady Justice.
I see. Okay.
Oh.
I can't really see chat.
I believe I quoted you the other day, real Lady Justice.
I don't see her either. Shit.
Are you?
I don't know where I
You'd
am.
be able to see the chat. You just wouldn't have you probably won't have a hey twin thing. You won't have a keyboard back there. I think that's
Right. I just don't.
thing.
I don't see Lady Justice. I don't see Burnt Toast. I see chat, but I think I'm in your other room.
Oh, okay. That's what it is. Then go to I'm almost to the point where I'm gonna stop doing that because right now the channels are at the same.
Here's Lady Justice. Hey.
Yeah, I was I quoted Lady Justice yesterday. I believe I said something to the effect of the gloves have come off where Bullhorn Betty is concerned, and that she called her the YouTube Village idiot more times than I was able to count.
Well, and she knows what paralegals do, and I doubt she would ever hire Betty just on her record alone,
Hell no.
even if she had experience and a degree.
I mean, Lady Justice can answer this. Our law offices, do they not have to be like bonded? And I would think that having someone working with sensitive information like clients' files and whatnot.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if they ever had someone with a resume like Betty's. But I wanted to ask Real Lady Justice if I forgot already.
Remy, I'm going to do that next time because I'm going to have to get my laptop and do it, which I'll have to brush the cobwebs off of.
Lady Justice, I'm curious. Has Betty ever attempted to argue with you a point of?
Oh no.
My guess is she's going to say yes.
Has she tried to argue with Lady Justice? I doubt it.
Oh, I've had other attorneys tell me that she has straight up told them that she knows what she's talking about.
Okay, well, I've never seen it. What is the other attorney's name?
We don't bond anybody, but we would never hire her because we are responsible if staff breach confidentiality.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I'm going to figure that out next time, Remy. Yeah, I can't see her actually debating. She might throw a comment back, like on community board or something, but I don't think I've ever seen her do anything but scream at someone.
Who does that? Can you imagine? Can you imagine putting some statement out there and then having someone who really is a real legal professional with a legal education
and trying to help her? I think I know what you're talking about. They were trying to help her, right? By saying, "Oh, I think I'm thinking of Down the Rabbit Hole," that tried to help her.
Blocked well over a year ago when I did. She's not worth my time. I knew it. So yeah, Betty wanted to, in some form or fashion. My guess would be that Betty made some stupid statement, and Lady Justice probably said, "Oh, well, that's in my experience," or whatever she said to her to try and correct it. And then Betty probably came back with something like, "Well, that's not what I learned," because she is that bitch. That's her. She would totally do that.
Yeah.
And what surprised me?
What happened to her Save the Children campaign from a month ago when she went to CPAC? She had all her flyers, and she was going to talk to someone high up in politics, and hasn't mentioned it since.
Susie Q, which channel can you not find? It's Crimes and Fashion is 3 separate words. And the other one is, I don't think there's any mods in here. I'm just going to write it in the chat.
Okay, well, I'm in Crimes and Fashion right now.
Okay.
And I can't see Burnt Toast.
Okay, so I
think
next time I'm going to, I'll probably, I don't know, I'm going to have to figure that out. I've been doing them together because
God, Bash
one
is right.
had more than the other, but now they're like getting to the same place, so we'll figure it out. Hey, Bash Tragedy Pants. Okay, so shall we?
Good video this morning.
I might have one of those queued up too. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Okay, so the one I have ready to go is her in the car.
Okay.
So we'll do this one. And I already read the fair use and
extermination rather than euthanasia already.
Oh.
That's much better.
Yeah.
Hey, there's Burnt Toast. Hey, Burnt Toast.
Okay, good. I'm glad you can see now.
You're not able to comment much. That's cool. Just knowing you're here.
Hold on, I forgot to hit present.
Headstones. Okay. Did you really use the word exterminate? Oh my God.
West 64B. There we are.
Okay. I'm
So I'm heading
sorry.
home. It looks like I'm going to be.
Oh, perfect place. Okay, listen. What the fuck is this? I think yesterday I said to you, well, listen, I'm glad to see that Betty took her lanyards off, because Betty, listen, forget about the obvious, like lanyards are not, I don't know, I've never seen anybody who loves a lanyard like our girl here. But Betty, I wasn't able to see all this gloriousness yesterday. Oh my goodness. Betty,
Man, you were going to love that.
what did I tell you last night? That this looked like she was going
The
to
bar
back
at
in the
midnight.
day, Studio 54. Like
Yeah, it looks old fashioned, real old fashioned.
Yeah, you know what this looks like? This looks like cachet circa 1990
50.
something. It's just, this is not professional. I don't know why.
No, not for a courtroom. No.
Yeah, and oh my god, and sleeveless is not. No, we need, Betty, you need sleeves, honey. This, either that or you're gonna have to get to that gym and tighten this. No. Oh god, I didn't know Betty was, apparently she must use a lot of filters.
Yeah,
She
absolutely.
looks a little different here from the car.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I think she does. But to me, the shirt looks like when the
Panic at the
glittery
Disco.
things are bedazzled or whatever that is. Like
Those
when
are
it first
plastic
came out,
singles.
like when it first came out, it was a big deal. Oh my God, you can have shiny things on your shirt, like 50 years ago. You know what I mean? And she bought this shirt, but then 50 years later, we've got lots of things with shiny things that we can wear.
And those aren't even shiny. Those are
I know, I
plastic.
can't really see.
Yeah, those are plastic acrylic.
I just don't understand it going to a courtroom, but
I don't either. I think she really thinks that this is like,
or put a jacket on with it. Like somehow put a jacket and button it all the way
yeah,
up.
this is not, I mean, it's not for her, period, end of story. It's just not. But oh, son of a bitch.
And her earrings were different.
This is your fault. I'm having this.
Did you cut your eye again?
No.
Every time I come on.
Yeah, no, it was from earlier before I came on, remember?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to take a little bit of mercy on her, and we're just going to move on.
I just thought it was different that she had, because she's never taken the gold earrings off. Okay, now my dog's going to have a coughing fit. Why don't you go outside?
Well, here, we'll play Betty's Big Mouth, and then nobody will hear your dog.
It's okay.
Arriving at the house late this evening, because it's a 6-hour drive here, a 6-hour drive home, and I've been here since like 10:30.
I need to know, did she actually make the hearing? Because
she was there before it started, so yeah, I guess.
Well, yeah, way before it. I was listening to Queen Bee last night, and she was talking about how Betty didn't check that it had been moved back to 2:30.
Oh.
I didn't know if she actually made. What would have been the best was if she found out, she would have had a meltdown, gotten in the car, and then what really would have fixed her wagon was if she got right about to Valdosta and then found out that, oh no, it's at 2:00.
Yeah. But I guess they canceled it while she was standing out there.
That I don't know. That part I'm not sure about. I just know that she said she got up at 3:30 in the morning to be there at 8:30 or something like that, and it got. Now 123 Rebecca says it was canceled.
Right.
It says rescheduled.
Yeah, I knew it was canceled. That's what I'm wondering. Was it canceled while she was standing there getting ready to go in, or did she, 2 o'clock. I don't know what time it was.
T-Pack says, I caught that. She was the belle of the courtroom ball.
Yeah, she was.
Okay, moving on.
Different minds.
So I am heading home.
Okay.
Sorry, you guys are going to hear the audio because I've got to be able to know where to turn, what I'm supposed to be doing as I'm getting out of Georgia. Guys,
I
Leilani's
don't think you turn on the
hearing
interstate,
was
Betty.
canceled. It was canceled. Everybody was there. I checked it before I left, because you never know
Bullshit.
if hearing this does happen in court systems.
I don't believe she checked anything.
It does happen in court systems because I've been around so long. Blah, blah, blah.
Even her steering wheel has got plastic crystals.
I know. It's
So do
got
I.
little bedazzled, little,
Okay, so I gotta.
like
Yeah.
1970.
She's probably got and a
The big
very
foot on the
high
foot
limit.
pedal.
She's probably got a really high limit credit card at Advanced Auto Parts or Pep Boys, one of those places. My goodness, she might be able to start buying her accessories there.
Yeah. I don't think that's that's old. Or do they still sell those? The steering wheel cover.
Yeah, they still sell them to people like her.
Oh,
Oh God. Okay.
you like shiny.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm missing all my turns. I may have to leave you guys be and
Who turned
look at my
on the
GPS.
interstate?
I'm trying to
She might
listen
not
to
be
this.
on the
So I've got to
interstate
be
yet.
7A. And once I get on I-95, we'll be there for like 100 miles, 118 miles. So we'll be good to go once I just get on the interstate. It started raining as we were exiting
Oh my God.
court hearing.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is interesting, Betty.
But no
That's
hearing today.
God sprinkling the ground, trying to put out the wake of Satan's fire that
Behind her.
the ring of fire that Betty left.
Like, why do you do, why come on a weather report? I mean, what are you doing?
We talked about this yesterday because she doesn't really have much to say, but she knows that she needs to say something.
Super chats.
She's filling up the time with just stupid shit nobody cares about. Kind of like her. Oh, Betty, girl, you got to get this. Listen, it's springtime, and I hope you're a one piece kind of girl, not a two piece. One piece with a skirt attached.
I think she has jeans. She have jeans on.
Why would you wear that top with jeans? Who wears jeans?
I think I saw jeans, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, I'm sure that they definitely, mistook her for a reporter. Okay, on with the show.
Guys, literally no hearing. I was excited to hear how they were going to argue this matter. I was
she didn't know
eager
whether
to learn,
matter or motion.
a little bit of their legal strategy, try to, look behind the curtain a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I must have missed my turn.
Oh my God.
Bringing me all the way back.
You're live streaming, bitch.
Yeah.
Sheila, please stop calling.
Yeah, I missed the turn somewhere.
But
anyways, we all get in there. I did the live. Karen and I went over to an Italian restaurant. I just had some cup of lobster bisque soup. I was actually considering. I saw some of the people there, but you never know.
Betty's a lobster girl. Now, see, I figured her more for like a chicken tender kind of girl. Lobster. Now, I'm sorry. Maybe it's just me and I'm a bitch because I can't stand her, but. I mean, if it was me, I don't think I'm flexing to my people who bought that lunch that she's eating lobster. I mean, lobster bisque, I get it, but it's still tacky.
It's good though.
I wouldn't have done that. But.
I love lobster bisque. I don't know where she went. Do you? Like, where'd they go for lunch?
She said some Italian place.
Okay.
I just think it's in poor taste, like everything else she does.
Okay. So, who likes seafood? Who doesn't like seafood? It was lobster bisque, but it was a special. It was actually pretty stinking good.
Pretty
It was
what?
really, really good.
Stinking good?
So I really liked
She's 12.
the lobster bits, but I was going to get some for
Okay,
the
we
other
know.
people that were there waiting to get into the courtroom, like Brett, his photographer,
Oh,
and then,
they
like I
didn't
said, the
even have
guy,
a
I can't
flag.
remember his name, the guy that interviewed
Dude,
me.
Brett.
He's one of the reporters for the local news, but she calls him Brett because I'm sure she mentored him while she was in Georgia.
When she had Brian Etten in class?
Yeah, and then
Is that
she
part of
said,
Betty's graduating class?
then she's saying another guy was there. I don't know if you saw her interview while they were in Georgia at the police station, and she told him not to call her a heckler. Just she would do the interview, just don't call her a heckler. I don't think it ever made the news, though. I don't think it
I
made the local
can't
news.
imagine why. Okay.
The younger guy, he interviewed me out in front of the police station,
That's why
basically
she's
saying
going to
that
buy lunch.
police chief thinks this is all just a big, profit scheme and everything else. Well, they obviously don't know me too well because,
No, they know you very well.
unfortunately, it's anything but a profit scheme when it comes
A
to these
profit.
cases. Because if it was a profit scheme, I would be taking
Betty's
the big-
more used to pyramid schemes, so she's
When did,
profit
but I
scheme
don't.
has kind of thrown her a little bit.
I doubt Chief Hadley called this a profit scheme. If he did, I missed it. He called them hecklers. Maybe he did say profit scheme, but I think he was speaking like he never pointed her out. He was just speaking generally. Well, I guess that would be mostly her. But it was a
what
long time ago. She can't get over that. Huh?
said money-making circus, I believe is what he said.
Not a profit making scheme.
Whatever it was, he was spot on. And
Yeah, she's not obviously, she didn't go there to seek an arrest or, I mean, she was already a suspect. Leilani was already, why else would you be there? Why else are you standing there taking super chats and getting lunch brought to you and coffee brought to you and pies brought to you? You know, that wasn't helping anything.
I mean, if it was
And
me and I was really trying to ingratiate myself to the powers that be out there, which, you know, Betty, I guess, has never had this lesson in life. I mean, sometimes honey really is better than vinegar. And if it had been me, I maybe would have sent lunch or Starbucks or something to Chief Hadley and the other people in the, I mean, that's not a huge office.
all those people that were digging through that trash dump.
Oh
my
yeah.
God.
And
You know,
got nothing but shit to say about them.
oh yeah, they're taking Saturday and Sunday off. Why are they taking Saturday and Sunday? Well, I mean, you go do it for 7 days. You know, there's only so many people that are specialized in it to begin with. They had to fly them in. But I don't know if you heard her rant on when she got back on Chief Hadley that he had a brothel that he owned.
What? Are
Yeah,
you
that he was having a thing with Billy Joe.
Oh my
He had
God.
he had hookers. They researched all of this. They connected him to the hotel where Billy Joel and Leilani they stayed the night at this hotel. I don't know if you remember that. There was a big confrontation. Yeah, he was having a thing with her, and he was connected to that hotel, and that's why they just went there. It was a whole thing that she did later. I don't know if it was a week later or a few days later, but she did come back and say, well, we found out that we were incorrect with, I think, the ownership.
God.
Oh, it was bad.
That is one of the most foul things I've ever heard.
It was bad.
When I hear things like that, that just reinforces what I've known all along. Hey, Zen.
Jada, who's saying something about her that upset you? What are you talking about? I'm really upset at something being said about her right now.
Who's saying
Verify. J-Dub saying that Is it something we said?
Hold on, I'm looking for the.
Yeah, hippie exactly. Yeah, I bet he beats his wife. That was the other thing. While he solved this little boy missing, I mean, he knew that Quentin was in that landfill. Pretty much had to know it for all that effort, and she's downing him like that.
Hold on one sec. J-Dub, Heels, you may be in the opposite chat that she is in. Can you paste it?
Right, J-Dub. I see where J-Dub is saying Uni is on kick about the situation. Did you? Yes, I reached out to him. No response. There was, Rachel was on his community page going on about me, and I kept saying, "What are you talking about?" And I finally said, "Stop defaming me. Don't underestimate the clip channels." And so then he finally wrote something saying, "I don't know what you're talking about," but there was never for 2 days. He's gone on, I don't know how many. The final straw for me was when he went on on Twitter and did an hour that I didn't see. Somebody sent it to me. I had to go back. And I hadn't said anything. I went on Queen Bee's. They were talking about using reused content, which is everybody's trying to figure out. And then I went into Unirock, and I were having a thing over, and I included him, but I hadn't talked to him, a thing over stepping on a creator's content, and that clicking on or pausing it every 2 seconds ruins the content. And exactly what I said last night. So if he's going on again and still not reaching out to me, I don't know what to tell him. I'm not going to do another video about him. I don't care what he says. So if that's what he's over there doing again, thank you, J-Dub. I appreciate it. I did try to reach out to him. It's all on my video last night. I put up the DM that I wrote. I was pissed when I wrote it. I did say, I said we, but I meant I. After explaining everything, if you're going to step on it, I said, I will strike you. But I didn't mean, I was mad. But I wouldn't strike anybody. Everybody knows, 2 years, I'm totally against striking. All it is a pain in the ass. Nobody's going to go to court. So I said it mad. But he still, even at that, didn't say anything. Rachel went right out in public, maybe 10 minutes after I wrote the DM, and said, I'm out there striking people, and she doesn't support clip channels anymore. And he said he's not going to play clip channels. I'm speaking for me. I'm saying for me. He's done it to me over and over again. So I wasn't speaking for any of the other clip channels. In fact, I didn't speak to them. So if he's still talking about it, no, J-Dub, that's okay. He's claiming I didn't. Well, it's right there. I put up the screenshots right there to see exactly what I wrote. Navy knows it. And saying I didn't reach out to him, if he means I went through Navy, because that's what Navy told me I had to do. So, but I'm not going to keep fighting with him. Anyway, back to the lovely Betty. Is she gone? Well. Well, okay, so the thing is he's the creator. And most of the time, like I've been doing this a long time. I've had tons of creators. I don't even know some of, I'm not even aware of some unless I just happen on them that are playing my videos. And most of them will play them all the way through or play, 5 minutes. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is just every 3 words when you've got I don't know, it's respect. It's more than just I'm upset. It's showing respect for other creators. I know. Well, I am wearing product. Me, Tim, shut up. But it's more respect than anything of what someone else has done. I mean, imagine if I took Unirock's stream right at the important part and just every 2 seconds gave a 5-minute commentary, you wouldn't have a clue what it was about. You know, it's just respect for. I emailed him. Who's him? Oh, you emailed it to Chief Hadley. Let's see. Yes, where my dog is snoring now. He would try to dress a drag house. Oh. He talks about drag heels on YouTube. He would lose subs and piss off. I mean, he can drag me. Is your article? Yeah, once I transform it, and it might not be transformed to a judge's liking, but that a judge is the only one that can make that decision. That's it. You have to go to federal court, get a copyright lawyer, pay the money, and then the judge will decide whether it was fair use or not. And I've looked at hundreds of copyright lawsuits, and I've seen not one YouTube, not a single YouTuber on there except Gone, it's a God or Sagad or Gone or whatever. And BTM knows about that one, but trust that you do not have enough money to do that. And if you really, I see Disney, ABC, CBS, big movie stars, big artists, record companies, but yeah, it costs too much. Yeah, exactly, Truth Hearts. It's just a 5-minute video. Play it, then you can go back and point out, make your comments. And some of them are just clips, and you can tell that they're just clips. Use those. I mean, I'm not saying I don't gather clips, I do, but when I gather them, I'm not thinking, let me get this because Unirock might want to use it. So I'm going to clip. I don't do that. I'm clipping for me because I have something I'm going to make something out of it.
I thought that was a really good takeaway from that because I told you this morning, I think we're so used to seeing everybody use the videos that, I mean, at least for me, I definitely was guilty of not thinking about it as it really was intended. You know, like this is
again,
your thoughts, your work product, not for to make our lives easier.
Right. But that's just, I'm speaking strictly for me. When I started making these, it was because of Bullhorn Betty and that whole group when they went to Tennessee. And so I was making them because I was pissed, and I would put them together, and it was my opinion of what they were doing, really. But now, I mean, people can take clips. He's not taking clips from it. He's trying to, like, say I do something with Molly in it. And so you see Molly for maybe 30 seconds, right? He's going to pause on her clip because he doesn't want her to copyright strike him. So he's going to pause on it, a 30-second clip every 2 seconds. Okay, so figure I have Molly, Justin, and Dolly in the video. So he's going to clip 50 times so he won't get copyright struck. But it's already it's my video. Once I make it and I transform it, it's my copyright. You know, he's just over. You know, I would believe him that he's just doing it for his copyright purposes and that he's using it for comment. But a lot of times he's not even commenting on what the video is about. I don't know why he's using it. It doesn't make sense. So I'm not speaking. There may be clip channels that they're doing it just so people will use the clips. And again, I do not care if you use my clips at all. Every 5 seconds is excessive. I mean, it's super excessive. You destroy the whole video.
Like that to me is a mental rabbit hole that I started thinking about. Like, do you remember back? Oh God, this is gonna date me. Do you remember back in the day there was Germac shampoo, and they did their big commercial was Germac. She looks so good. She told a friend, and she told a friend.
Yeah.
Okay, so I started thinking about this whole copyright thing. And it's like, okay, so we've got your video and you've got the people that are in your video. So if I play your video, how far back, and then maybe somebody looks at me and plays my video and does what I'm doing. How far back does it go? Like
I've never actually seen that happen. I've never seen that happen. They've only, like, I've been struck, I don't know now, 14 times by Dolly, JLR, privacy strikes. All of that is just to be assholes.
Yeah,
they're not striking me. They're not striking me for the content. They're striking me, and I've got plenty to back that up. But I've never seen Dolly strike someone else for my video. You know, he's striking me. It would be like plenty of people have played it. Plenty of people have played it. I don't know who's in here that has ever played it, but I don't. Someone in here can tell me if they've ever been struck because they played a clip channel's video. You know that, and because once I transform it into something else, like Dolly and doing his search with the mosquito hat on and all that, I transformed it into something that was funny and not the way he intended it. And that's what you have to do. You know what I mean? So
well, and we know that they did it, and a lot of them were doing it until this little, power move was taken away.
Yeah, but I don't want anybody to stop. I don't want people to stop doing it. He's the only one that's ever done it that way. Most creators have more respect than that. They have more respect for the person that they're using. If it's a long clip, because I have some they can do, still 5 seconds is not enough. He was doing it. I don't know if you watched my video, but at the very beginning, you can see what he's doing with Chronicles. They say 3 words, and then he talks for 5 minutes, and he talks about all kinds of stuff. Then he'll play 3 more words, and he's laughing and talking to Navy, and then he plays literally 3 words. So whatever she meant to say, even if it was just for clips, he wasn't playing a clip. He wasn't playing anything that made sense. I don't know why he just wouldn't talk about what he wants to talk about. But anyway, that's just for me.
I think so many things on this platform, like, I don't know. I think there's so many things that if people just, I don't know, it's almost like it makes me wonder some of the things people do. I sit back and I say, God, do you do that shit when you go out in the real world? Like, I don't know if people just lose all their, and I'm not speaking about him, I'm saying in general. Do people lose like all their manners and common sense and whatnot? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure some people.
Well, there were people in every single chat saying, just play the video. Like when he started Chronicles, I looked at the headline and I just left and went and watched it. And I would think that's also a danger he runs into, is people leaving to go watch it because he won't just play it. It took him an hour to get through that video, 8 minutes, an entire hour. So, and it was a very interesting video. It was a great video. So I just left and went and watched it, and came back and he was still every 5 seconds, and I just got mad. And that's when I went and wrote the DM. So I'm not saying, yes, there are clips, but it's common sense to at least play a paragraph. You know, what are you? Yeah, Betty said this, for instance, her saying that about um, euthanizing people. Get through her saying it, stop, and then talk about it. You know what I mean? That's a good stopping point. But you don't stop when she says, yeah, I think, and then you stop and start talking about what the hell ever.
Well, yeah, because at some point it gets completely lost, you know?
It gets so lost, especially timing. Like it, and Tragedy Pimps and I were going back and forth. You're spending a lot of time getting the right clips, first of all. Like I'll get clips from a long time ago, from recently, from today, and then I will put in different creators, and then I'll put them together, and there's a timing to it. You know what I mean? Like Betty will say this, and then
Never knew any of that.
Dolly will say this, but they had nothing to do with each other before I put this together. It was just kind of making something funny. And so you have by the end, it would be like for me, and I might be overblown in my head, but for me, it's like if you go watch a comedian and he's got a joke, right? And he's worked on it for a very long time. And you just stand up in the middle of his joke and say, hey, what's up? I want to talk about the first part of your joke. Let's talk about that. Well, you know, you've stepped on his punchline,
Yeah,
basically.
you'd be leaving that.
You would be leaving. Yes, you would be leaving. So let him finish the joke and then talk about it. You know what I mean? Just let the joke go. It's 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and then talk about it. It's not hard. I promise you, it's not as hard as it's been made out to be. It's
Yeah, I think
more
it's really been.
respect than anything. That's all it is. And I've had, oh God, so many people, but I think Burnt Toast kind of spoiled me because of the way she does them. And Claire, they both, and Crude AF when he was on, because they would just, I never even thought about it. It never occurred to me to say, oh my God, you're stepping all over my, because they would watch it first, you know, and they would see.
Yeah,
Jenny plays mine all the time. Jenny Jen.
Yours are very doable to watch ahead of time. That's, you know.
Never over 10 minutes. Rarely over 10 minutes. Mostly 1 to 5. But Jenny Jens she plays mine all the time. And she'll play it through, then they'll all talk. Huh?
I love Jenny Jen. I love her voice. She's a nice person.
Yeah, she's very supportive. She has a clip channel. And so she knows, you know, but I really didn't want to make it. The biggest deal for me was Rachel going out and saying, I'm striking channels, and that clip channels are going to start. That was never supposed to be anything that was out there. And that's kind of what got me the most. And then no communication, because we could have talked right away. And I would have said, yeah, no, I'm not going to strike you. Please don't play my video if you're going to step on it. You can shout me out. You know, I'll still be a member. I'll still give you super chats. Just shout me out. You don't have to play it.
I mean, in the best of circumstances, things get lost in translation, in text messages,
Right.
in chats. It just happens.
Yeah, 3 shows later, yeah, it got lost.
People sometimes feel like the other person is getting an attitude with them when they're not. But you know, when you're just doing this, it's very hard to distinguish sometimes. Okay. Well, I don't know what your dog was doing, but you must have told my dog, because my dog came in here and started doing like some weird sneezing, but it sounded like a sprinkler, and it sounded like an old school sprinkler when it did that. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, mine's just snoring away. She always does.
Okay. God, I'm gonna have to stand up in a minute because my
right. Beach him.
A lot more money than this one right here, right? Like I just came all the way down here, been up since 3:30 in the morning to a canceled hearing.
Right, me too.
And
And
we're
he
gonna
should
have
know
to go
that.
Veterans Parkway exit 2, so I got to get around here.
Okay.
So, it's like this, and this is the second court hearing, if you guys recall. The very first hearing that we were supposed to come to, Leilani wouldn't refuse to come, so they canceled the hearing.
Oh, wait a
This
minute.
is the second hearing. Well, we went to the next
What?
hearing.
I don't
Leilani
remember.
refused.
Yeah. So she
In what
refused
world does that happen?
Mars.
Where, I mean, if anything, they would just carry on without her. I mean, Letitia Stout she doesn't want to attend her trial, but she's there.
Well, we
Did you
never
see
have a
what she
trial if
did?
they just could refuse to come.
Did you see what she did? Yeah, I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah,
Can't
so
stand that
you don't
bitch.
just see, this is the kind of shit I'm talking about. That is now, granted, and full disclosure, I didn't watch it. I don't know what Betty's talking about. But, well, if Real Lady Justice is here, she can answer the question. But I have never in my life heard of, the defendant doesn't feel like coming to court today, so we're just not going to have the hearing.
Yeah.
She'll let us know when it's convenient for her. What the? Who the hell would believe this?
I've never
This
heard of
is
it.
what no, me either. And this is what makes me crazy with her. She says things that are, unless I misunderstood her, and I don't think I did, that is patently wrong. That is absolute bullshit. That would never happen in a million years.
See, that's just common sense. Now, there might be something that happened that she couldn't come but you have a right to be in the courtroom at every single hearing, every single thing that happens. But if you refuse,
Well,
then you refuse. I mean,
yeah, but that doesn't mean that the hearing
they're going to
can't
stop
go on.
everything.
It's just, I don't know.
Does anybody know that's in chat?
Yeah, just let's see. Yeah, if anyone here we go. Real Lady Justice doesn't happen. They bring criminal to proceeding and they sit there. It was just motions, so she did not have to be present.
Okay, so they probably didn't cancel the last one because Leilani, I can't remember. I know they.
Leilani needed to get her friggin' prison pedicure done. She's like, we've been saving up the Kool-Aid for weeks now. We got to do it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I don't remember what happened on the last one, really.
Oh, you can be sure she doesn't either.
But see, it's that kind of thing.
Huh?
It's that kind of thing that your common sense just immediately. It's not like you even have to look it up. It's like, God, wouldn't every person that had a trial just say, I don't feel like it?
Yeah.
I'm not going.
And
Okay.
this is why she is so offensive to me.
Right.
Because she's full of shit and she does. I mean, if I had to guess, I would guess that she actually believes what she just said. Because
it's probably how she read it.
That's her intellect level.
She did use dyslexia as an excuse for something she did the other day. I don't remember what it was.
Oh.
But suddenly, for the first time in 2 years, we heard she's dyslexic.
Criminal has the right to be there during trial. In high crimes like this, they absolutely bring to trial. They do not have to be there for simple motions. I mean, common sense to me is, I don't know about you, but if I'm sitting in prison and I haven't seen the outside of, that confined area, I don't know, I may want to get on the prison bus and just get a little change of scenery. My goodness. If it's
get a little fresh air.
Yeah. And if it's not, I think they probably have to take a ride on a little bus or a van. Gosh, you might get to see some, trees and who knows.
On the 14th. And
Follow the Grain.
Huh?
Follow the Grain said, I do believe they had trouble, but I can't imagine they put off a hearing because she didn't want to go.
I mean, excuse me. This is the one person who has the power to make you do what they want you to do, a judge. So it's just stupid.
Yeah, I think there was probably maybe her attorney. It might have been something with her, like the attorney,
Yeah.
someone dies in the family or whatever.
But what we know it wasn't was, oh, well, Leilani just, she had better things to do. So
This didn't feel like it.
We
Okay,
did hear that hearing, and we got the video from that because Brett was the full videographer for that
Wait, stop.
So we were able to get the
Wait, did she just say that they didn't have the hearing, but now she's talking about they got video?
Yeah, she did, didn't she?
I guess. I don't know. So like she said, the last hearing didn't happen because Leilani didn't go, and now she's saying
she was getting a pedicure.
We've got all the video, and Brett, she first name basis with that report.
Brett, her buddy Brett, and I'm pretty sure that if you ask Brett, hey Brett,
What? No.
How's Betty doing? He'd be like,
who? Oh, you mean Bullhorn? Bullhorn Stringer?
Yeah, her new name is Bullscorn Hetty.
Well, yeah, I like Bullscorn.
I love that. Bullscorn.
Okay, yes. Keep going, lady.
Look, and I was able to broadcast that out to everybody from the courthouse. This one, everybody was there, and the bailiff. I gotta tell you about this bailiff. This bailiff, she's so friendly. I don't know how to explain it. This bailiff.
I know how to explain it. She was like, "Oh yes, we've already been warned. Keep your eye on the one in the disco,
Purple.
Dressed for the disco. Panic at the Disco."
Just has this energy about her.
Roz from Night Court.
Nice. She's bubbly. Like
you, Betty.
It's dead. When you're greeted with such joy. I mean, she's like that all the time. Like this is the first time I've gone to court at this courthouse, and this bailiff, and she's one of the ladies that walked Leilani out. Remember when she had to still come to court for her kids, but she was already suspected of murdering her son, and
when she still had to come to court for her kids. Oh, you mean like CPS hearing?
When you were at the wrong courthouse, that one? Yeah, we saw the video.
Oh, you know what just occurred to me? I know why none of this is, striking me up here. Because this period of time is when I exited YouTube.
Right.
I did not watch. I didn't do anything. So this is actually new to me. But
yeah, she showed up at the wrong courthouse and stood there with her ranting past the time for the
fault. I'm sure.
Probably. I think she did it twice, actually.
Okay.
She came here, and I think it was William and I forgot his wife's name. Oh my gosh, is it Shayla? Holy crap! I can't believe I forgot her name.
God,
I see her face and I can't figure out her name. I think that's what it was, Sheena or something like that. Anyway, they were there and they were screaming. And one of the bailiffs that escorted Leilani out is the one that's in Judge Stokes' courtroom. But she's the one with the really short hair. But she's so pretty, and she, like I said, she is just absolutely.
God,
suck up, girl. Suck up.
Be a note, because I have to say this might be the first time I've ever heard her say something nice about another woman.
Oh, there's something behind it. Trust me, there's something behind it.
I need to write this down in my super top secret dossier. I've never heard her compliment another woman.
No, there is something behind it. Maybe she thinks she's watching, and next time she'll get like front row seat or something.
Betty, listen, girl, I know you've got a Planet Fitness membership and that you use it for Wi-Fi and to stream and maybe to take a shower when you're on your important business trips. Girl, you have got to pick up one of those weights that's in there, because her arms are, whoo.
Yeah, she goes back and forth. She's to extremes for some reason.
The McDonald's, the steady diet.
McDonald's might be it.
I don't know if it's the bleach that's made her arms look like that or if it's the McDonald's, but her body is a temple.
She said that.
This temple has this temple is large enough to accommodate large groups.
Bubbly. Like, I can't express how bubbly this
Jesus
Bailey
Christ.
is, but she's always such a joy. When you see her, you can't
Much like
help
yourself,
but
Betty.
to smile
Sucking
and
up.
say hi, and it just
Yeah.
she really does brighten your day up. But I don't know,
You should move in with
she's
her.
dealing with felony court, so there's probably a lot of people she's got to brighten up, because I'm sure people don't want to be there, but she does do her job pretty stinking well. Pretty stinking well. But she's like, oh, no. She's like, what are you guys here for? We're like, Leilani? Oh, she ain't coming in today. Well, we're going to hear the legal arguments. Oh, no. You don't understand. It's been moved. Like, nothing's going on today. And it was crazy because when I was outside of the courthouse, Karen and I were sitting, we were doing the live. You guys remember?
Or is she back on when Leilani supposedly refused to come to court?
Well, what she just said is Leilani isn't coming. There's nothing going on. That's not Leilani's not coming. So
that's what makes me think she's talking about the hearing in the motion hearings previous.
She is talking about previous, but what she just said was there's nothing going on. Leilani's not going to show up. So, in other words, like, you don't need to stand out here waiting to yell at her when she walks from the bus to the courthouse, because she's not going to be here. Nothing's going on. Because that's what she planned to do. That's what JLR does. That's the only reason they're there. She's not going to get, I don't know if she thinks she's going to get in the courthouse. Well, it's just a hearing, so she probably can.
You know what I was thinking when you were saying, oh yeah, she's sucking up, there's some reason.
There's some reason.
The first reason that went through my mind was, do you think that she thinks the bailiff, maybe, I don't know if they're going to go on a lottery system for seats in the courtroom.
Right.
Maybe she thinks that, she's got the winning bingo numbers.
Exactly.
And Betty's going to try and get,
Yeah, she'll do her a favor.
She'll stop and buy her, an extra large coffee from not Starbucks, because that's probably too expensive for Betty. But, Speedway.
Yeah. She doesn't go on about the only other people, our parents, were the Gonsalves family. And that's because they got an interview with them.
Yeah.
And so they were the greatest.
Say anything nice about, well, come to think of it, I'm not going to say not about any other
And
person,
Dolly.
but definitely not about a woman I've never heard her be so.
No, I haven't either. No, she's definitely buttering up somebody.
Yeah, there's something. We don't know what it is.
We said something like, oh, there's the judge. We saw Judge Stokes leaving the courthouse. We assumed she was going to get a cup of coffee before court started, but no, it wasn't. She was done. There was no court here today, and it must have changed.
Does Eddie really think that the judge doesn't
run
have
out for a cup of coffee?
A JA? And probably the JA doesn't even do it. I'm pretty sure there's somebody in that office that if the judge needs another cup of, in the event that she doesn't have any electrical outlets to put a Keurig machine in or whatnot, I didn't
thought she was going for coffee.
I didn't quite have enough reference what the other night when you and Burnt Toast were talking about these very strange cultural or
references. Yeah.
Yes, but I'm starting to understand it now. I'm telling you, I've never listened to this much of Betty at the same time before. And that is
okay. Well, just the way she's dressed is like, I guess you can say 90s at a
for sure.
VFW bar or something. But yeah, she has a lot of them.
And when she said she's so stinking something, that's like something my grandmother would have said. I'm telling you, Arrested Development. You're looking at it.
Yeah, she says that burns my grip.
Oh God, Yeah, Mel's in the back somewhere. Mel is busy making the judge's coffee and getting the grits ready for Flo to kiss.
Right. God, that's a
Sydney,
good memory.
we thought the judge was going out to get coffee. Oh yeah, and she would have worn a robe for sure to go, you know. She is something else, man.
I'd like to find out what happened with that hearing.
Whatever happened, it changed as of this morning because this hearing was listed this morning at 3 a.m. when I checked it before I got on the road. You always check the docket to make sure there's no changes the night
Yes,
before,
always
just
do that.
in case. And so that's what we did.
We-
There was
we-
a meeting still on there. 2 p.m.
It was we had
So
a
I got on
board
the road.
meeting,
Got here at 10:30.
Tragedy Pimps Inc. called to order, and
Right. They had a Zoom meeting to check the docket.
even though, you know, I noticed something about her too. Maybe this is a lot of the reason that she's very well. I'm not going to say misunderstood, but she doesn't, when she speaks, it's not clear. She doesn't have like a clear pathway, like what she just said. When we checked at 3 a.m. and then she said something about the docket. It just wasn't very light. It just was convoluted.
She does that a lot.
Yeah, I'm picking up on that. I think I liked it better when I'd never heard
Didn't know.
more than 30 seconds of her.
Well, but you do need to get a good idea.
I am getting it though. And I'm all joking aside. I really am. There are things that y'all have said that I'm now able to understand a little more. And I agree.
Right.
Getting home until about 8:39, and we never even got to see a hearing. But it is part of the process. I've never seen
Good job.
a court motion hearings just removed off the court like this. Usually they're removed off the court like 24 hours before the hearing, but never just. And this is the second time they've done it. Is where they just go and they take it off the court. And I'm hoping Judge Tammy Stokes maybe reins that in a little.
That happens. I mean, shit happens. There's not. I don't think I truly. I'd be hard pressed to come up with any institution that has more short notice and quick changes, because things happen and then this gets pushed up and that gets pushed back. I mean, gee, do we think that is some of the reason the courts are very backed up?
Well, I mean, she's saying, and they just took it off. Why would they leave it on? It's not happening. Everyone that needs to know knows.
Yeah.
You know, YouTubers that are driving around aimlessly for 10 hours, it's not important to the court that she knows about it.
No,
the
I'm
lawyers
sure
know that's
enough.
enough.
Important. Oh God.
Yeah, so it had to be last minute if media was there, you know, her friend Brett and everybody.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So it had to be something that happened last minute.
Yeah.
Little bit and tells them that they need to, start having these adjustments 24 hours before the hearing, because doing this stuff the day of the hearing is a little concerning. Like, why are we waiting for the hearing?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe because there was another hearing that
something ran too long
there, and it was more pressing on some attorneys.
There's a million reasons. They're not concerned with betting.
No.
So she wants to now change the system to where they have to give you a 24-hour notice. Tell the judge that, Betty. You see how fast he'll just get the happy bailiff to take you out.
What's mind blowing to me is that I really think she believes this shit. Like,
well, she's making it up as she goes. She just makes it up as she goes. It inconvenienced her, so we need to change the law.
Well,
or change the system.
I'd also be willing to bet that if you asked any judge, lawyer, bailiff, stenographer, any person that's getting paid to be in that courtroom, if you ask them, hey, how many people sitting here do you think have no connection to this case, but drove 8 hours to get here.
Yeah.
And that
It's
would be,
just a motion
are
hearing.
you serious? I would hope nobody.
It's just a motion hearing. Why would she go there? Because she thinks they're going to take malice murder. They're just going to take it off.
And even if they did, what is she going to do about it? I mean,
Oh, she'll be the, the first to announce it. She'll say that anyway. But
you
it's
don't
just
know.
a motion hearing. It's
You
not.
don't
I
know
don't
how
know.
much I would love to debate her. I'm going to make sure I make that part of every show where I invite her to take me up on that.
Yeah, she just screams and shoots the finger. I mean, I've seen her do it before.
Yeah. Arrested Development. That's going to be her new. Oh, it coincidentally the same initials. Well, part of the same initials as Assistant District Attorney. We'll just call her AD Betty.
Yeah.
It literally, we're rolling into town at 9 a.m. There's a hearing at 2, and from 9 a.m.
How dare them.
to 1, or actually it was about 12 when we saw Judge Tammy Stokes walking out of the courthouse. So between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. today, or 12 p.m. today, something changed and nobody's notified of it. So anyway, I'm glad I didn't get a
where exactly are they, whoever they is, where is they supposed to notify her?
I am surprised if the media showed up at 2. I am surprised if that happened, that they weren't notified. Like, they usually keep up with it. Is it still happening? Because they know. I mean, just common people that have traffic tickets or, some kind of civil case, it gets canceled a lot. It's like court was canceled. Thank God.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly. And the judge doesn't send out save the dates. Well, actually, they kind of do, but just on the docket.
Yeah,
And
but I mean, I don't understand the media if what she's saying is true. At 2:00, they were all standing out there waiting to get in. That maybe it was some kind of emergency cancellation.
it could have been anything. This happens all the time. It's not, contrary to what she would like you to believe.
But has she said what it was? I haven't heard her say what the reason was.
No, just that she saw the judge
leave for Starbucks.
Coffee, maybe. But no one notified us.
So they knew at noon, because she's saying the judge left at noon and didn't come back, I guess.
I don't know. It's so hard to listen to the drivel that comes out of her mouth that I don't have Betty interpretation skills quite yet. I'm working on them. So.
Let's see what she says. Go ahead.
That would have been a waste.
Mm-hmm.
She's
busy on the right. 2 miles. 2 miles. Got to the exit on the right.
2 miles.
So, but we came, and we're here, and we'll be here for the next one too. Again, it's only 6.5 hours.
Only 6.5 hours. Not like you fucking work.
If we have first thing in the morning type of hearings, then I've got to stay the night. If it's afternoon hearings, I can drive up early in the morning and get back at night. So I'm perfectly fine with that. I got my finger in every eye. I don't know what that means. If anybody's being rude inside this chat, please be sure that they are blocked and removed.
What capacity is she going in? Is my question. I guess a reporter.
She's going as unemployed, dumbass grifter with nothing else to do under the guise of employment for stupid YouTube subs who give her money.
Yeah, I guess that's her reporter hat. And then when she searches, she's an investigator.
Oh my God. She is just, oh my God.
She's because
Lolani wasn't coming because the attorneys and judge took it off the calendar. Jail didn't transport her.
Yeah, I wonder why they took it off the calendar. Well, that's why she didn't show up. Why would she show up if they canceled it? Hello. Okay, I'm going to say hi to chat. Check.
Sorry, I accidentally yeeted myself. Okay, we're back.
The parties
Oh,
in
that is-
media is not a priority. I know they're not a priority, but 2 hours, it seems like they wouldn't show up at 2 if it was canceled at 12.
Follow the Grain has it exactly right. She has not earned any respect. Here's
Right.
here's
Or
what
like,
if I were Betty, which I thank God every night I'm not. But here's how I try and deal with people out in the world that, especially people that I would like something from, whether it's whatever it is, whether it's information or if I want them to, if I want to hire them to do a job for me, whatever the case may be. I mean, I'm a big fan of, small but thoughtful gifts. Like, I don't know if I'm the, kind of like you've seen in every movie that has anything to do with crimes and reporters and courts, you've always got that reporter that's, got a source.
yeah, they've got a source inside source.
And they,
Yeah.
they come in with a box full of donuts, and that's how I like to get things done. I do. I'm sorry. If there is a way for me to ethically and legally, you would be shocked what a small act of something nice and unexpected for somebody, man, that kind of stuff buys a lot of goodwill with people.
Right.
I mean, that's been
Real
my-
Lady Justice. That's what I said at first, is they're not a party to that hearing, so there's no priority to, tell anyone. They just, the ones that need to know. But Betty thinks someone should have ran out and, hey, lady, we're not having the meeting. I just think, like you're saying, a lot of media has sources, whether it's someone inside the courtroom, the lawyer, the family, they ingratiate themselves into it enough to, but not her. I mean, I wouldn't expect anyone to tell her.
Yeah, no. But she'd be wise to. Hold on, if I'm going to pull this.
Well, she's
back up.
working on the bailiff. We've seen her working on the bailiff, so.
She needs to be working on those arms. Get the bailiff. Work on the arms, and you might get the bailiff. Okay, back to more nonsense. I mean,
Oh, they have to apply through crime?
Legal commentary.
In chat and that want to be part of the coffee club and conversate on the facts of these cases. But if you're here to gaslight, interrupt, we'll just block you. And you can keep creating accounts and we'll keep blocking those. And if you really want to push the envelope, I'll start making these 2 hours. So you guys literally will only have one opportunity to say boo, and then you're down for the rest of the entire
Oh, no.
No matter how many accounts you create, you can't get
Can't
on
get
because
in.
it's for 2 hours.
Oh, no.
So it's up to you.
Betty, it's your
That would be
kingdom.
terrible.
Your kingdom, pumpkin. You
Yeah.
run it any way you see fit. Okay.
That's right. That is right.
We're just here to serve you.
So,
We'll
you
just-
guys can play nice here and say what you mean, and you can even criticize Betty as long as it's
Oh,
No,
no.
you cannot. Welcome
Oh, no.
shit. We all know you cannot criticize Betty. That's crock of shit.
No.
I don't care. If you even criticize me all day long.
No.
As long as you're doing it respectfully and you don't offend the people in
Define
the chat.
respectfully.
But if you don't even want that opportunity, I'll be sure to take that away from you as well.
Are you open to criticism about those arms?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help you. And in the event that you're too lazy to do that, which I'm pretty sure you are, spray tan girl. Listen, my mother-in-law had a brilliant, she said this many, many years ago. Fat looks better tan. And it's true. Fake tan. Fake tan's fine. You don't have to go lay in a tanning bed. But it will. It'll just take the edge off for those of us that are subjected to your Disco Inferno wardrobe.
I don't think I can because it's just as easy as a block, right?
Yeah.
So Manage yourself wisely, folks. Manage yourself wisely.
I think manage your time wisely, Betty.
So Leilani, you know, there's still that motion. I think it's going to be hard. I think her defense knows that it's going to be hard. Maybe
You
maybe
think?
they're getting some
Yeah,
results
usually
back.
when you know, you're kind of starting off behind the 8 ball when you're accused of throwing your sweet, precious,
Yeah.
adorable baby in a landfill or
That's a bit of
dumpster.
a challenge for him.
Yeah, I would agree. Finally, I hear Betty and I agree on this point. It's going to be hard for the defense attorney.
What a statement.
She is Captain Obvious. Oh, this is the worst mouse on earth. Come on, there we go.
Hold on, guys. Let me get over to my GPS. Just sit
I've
tight.
never seen
I'll be
anyone
right back.
turn so much on the interstate.
Let me get over.
Oh, she'll do 3 different
There we
things.
go.
She'll chat. I've seen her actually.
It's nice to see you guys here, but again, for those that are just pulling up or
Look at
coming into
her.
the chat, we are
Sorry,
the
that
hearing.
shit is so dangerous. As someone who's had not me, but I have dealt with a fatal traffic accident, and it's what she does. It just like, oh God, it gives me hot. And you imagine she's barreling down the interstate at God knows.
Well, isn't the hands-free just for audio? It's not watching a movie hands-free, right?
It's not hands-free and eyeballs free. It's brain free. I mean, in her case, it's like, my God, it's so, to me, it's just another way she does this at. And then if someone dares to mention it, it's, I know what
Well, she's reading chat. I mean, you can see that she's reading it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, that's not dangerous. Not at all.
I've never heard of even like texting. I don't think there's, it's okay to hands-free. It wouldn't even make sense to hands-free text.
I can tell you, I am somebody who, I don't do it because I can't. I simply cannot. I do not text and drive. At a light, yes, I'll, respond or something, but I don't text and drive.
Did not go forward. They're not going to hear legal arguments on this. They do need to come back. It has been moved. It's just not going to happen today. And we will be back here for this hearing. We're going to be here for all of Whitney Simon's hearings.
There was no hearing yesterday at all
about this case. This 20-month-old stole my heart. Okay,
you don't have a heart to steal.
Oh my
what are you
God.
talking about? Stole her heart. Is this not the woman that said the most disgusting things standing
About
in front of that baby's house?
Well, and bones, they're going to find just going to be bones on top of the
just
garbage pile. And I don't know. I don't think.
It just puts me off so bad.
She didn't even know who he was.
I just can't imagine ever uttering those words. You don't have to be a parent or a grandparent. You don't have to be any of that to know that you don't speak that way about a baby. It's sickening. But that's who she is. Stole her heart. That would assume the premise that you actually have one, which I'm not sure that you do. So I disagree.
Case that I personally covered. I have covered another couple kids' cases around his age, but this is by far the youngest child I have covered, at least up to the date that we covered that case. It covered this case in Savannah, Georgia. We lived here for about a month. Several of us were here for quite some time, monitoring and watching this this case. And we did protest.
No. We're going to dispel with this myth also. A protest is when you're actually speaking either in for or against something. And what you were doing, Betty, was making a menace, a nuisance of yourself. You were making life a living hell for people who had nothing to do with this. I don't know why she insists. She clearly doesn't know what a protest is, because I never heard anybody out there screaming, no.
She wanted Leilani to walk out the door, go to the courthouse, or go wherever, and the police station, and say she did it. Same thing she was doing with the laundries. She thought all that was going to make them come out and tell where Brian Laundrie was, and that they had some, confess. It doesn't work that way. The police already said she's a suspect. They already said, we don't believe she's a flight risk. They're the ones that call it. And again, like you said, the whole speedy trial thing, they're not going to arrest her just because she's out there yelling for them to. They're not going to do anything with Laundrie's parents until they find Brian. Obviously, the FBI talked to them and they said whatever they said. They didn't know where he was. They knew where he was last, but
it's just
that's what she's doing.
Juvenile mindset. They're nobody who has any legal, true understanding of how the system works in even the most basic of ways thinks that. I mean, what I always naturally ask these people is, well, what if it was your mother, your sister, your best friend? Do you want it done fast or do you want it done right?
Yeah, most people want it done right.
Yeah.
And why would the crying baby, if you killed your baby and threw it in a dumpster, is the sound of a crying baby going to move you to feel so horrible? Like, Lonnie is a psycho. I mean, she was out there in the lawn chair acting like it was normal. All this is normal. We want him back, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's not somebody that's going to be moved by what they were doing.
No, and to me, just proves that it's not about it. It's all about her.
They were making good money out there.
Oh,
very good money.
Yes, and whatever the
and we watch.
Cases, it doesn't matter. It's just rinse, repeat. It's all about her. She is one of the rings of the 3-ring circus.
Yep. She was making money, and if that happened again, we would all clip her. We would all talk about it. It's just, we would. I don't care what anybody says, we would.
Shit. You know what I think is one good thing that came from that? And I hope it will continue. And I think if anything, it'll just become more so. I think that the decent people on here who see all of this self-promoting circus, money-making circus for what it is, right. And every time these dirtbags find a new person to exploit and a new case to make about themselves, to take the focus off the victim and their families and to make it about themselves, well, I love the fact that there are people who are, if not one step ahead of them, they are hot on their heels.
Right.
To the powers that be and those who need to know the whole rundown on these people, and they're kind enough to give them video evidence of all of that.
Right. They were exposed. I mean, that's why I watched it, to expose them. So if they had been doing something good and accomplishing anything, their channels in between the times that they're acting like asses would have, gotten a lot more views. They would have gotten further, but they're not. Look at Dolly. Look at Chronicles of Olivia's gone. Molly's gone.
Yeah.
It didn't help them in the long run.
And nobody would be against
a cold case
if they were being respectful and they were actually accomplishing anything
right.
besides their own checkbook balance,
Yeah, there are cases that she could go, use her bullhorn and they could protest. The cold cases that the cops just kind of put away because nobody's really saying anything. So
I want
You
to
know,
know why she is not at the Tracy Nix hearing.
I don't even know who that is.
Well, it's the woman who I saw that Gray Hughes did a little bit on it the other day. It's a Florida case. It's the grandmother who had 2 children in her care. Her 2 grandchildren die within less than 1 year. One in a hot car, one drowned in a pond on the
Yes.
property.
Yes, I did hear
Yeah.
about that.
That's very close to where she lives. I'm not sure why she's
And
not.
have they arrested the grandmother?
Oh, she's getting ready to go to trial. I think
Okay,
the
well,
trial
there
is
would be
already
no point. Yeah, there'd be no point. Like, what would they protest if she's already ready to go
Well,
to
they
trial?
don't protest. That's not what they do. But I would think that Miss Advocate here for those children.
Would cover it, but no one else is covering it. She only goes to the high profile once they've already become a high profile case. And there's plenty to cover in her state.
Well, I'm just very glad that their resume is kept. Whenever they announce, pretty soon that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to stop announcing where they're going. Obviously, we'll figure it out when they get there, and then the people who do what they do will do what they do, and their reputation will precede them.
Well, look at what Jonathan last night. This is what they do that's not helpful, and he really should be violating his probation. But he put up a picture of being in front of Donwell's son's house. I think he lives in Wisconsin. I'm not sure. Why are you going there?
I can't wait until somebody beats his ass. Honestly, like, I would laugh.
I mean, that guy has stayed out of it completely, just not to have the spotlight on him. And Jonathan is standing in front of his house, like, why? And showing his license plate, zooming in on it. You're a reporter? Is that what reporter?
Like, he has a screw list. There,
He does.
legit. Like, of all of them, he to me is the most like
Dangerous?
yeah, because
Yeah. The cops have called him dangerous. And they said what I've always said, he's going to keep the next thing has got to be bigger than the next thing and bigger than the next thing. And then you have Luca Magnotta, the guy that in the show Don't Fuck with Cats.
that's why I'm saying I can't wait until he gets the beat down that he's begging for, because he is. I mean, I don't get it. There are so many people in this country that don't deserve to get assaulted, but they do. So how does somebody who acts like him,
How'd he get through prison?
who begs for it,
Yeah.
not get it? Oh, how did he get through prison? Well, I have my thoughts on that too.
Me too. I think they used him as a
Let's
lawyer.
let's just say I think he was probably very compliant and
Maybe.
what's that expression? Go along to get along.
Yeah.
That would be my guess.
Maybe that's why the shirt on the face thing.
One, we wanted the family to tell the truth. And 2, we wanted law enforcement to have had enough of it where they actually arrest Leilani. They were absolutely stubborn in arresting Leilani. Now, mind you,
They were absolutely stubborn.
This thing, that's probably true.
I didn't know that stubborn was synonymous with the word evidence. Like,
what did she say? Because I was reading chat real quick.
She said that they wanted the police to get tired of Leilani lying.
Oh, okay.
And they were being stubborn in their refusal to do so, to arrest her.
They pretty much knew she was lying, and they were going to arrest her for murder.
Yeah. I mean, what I truly
And
don't
she would have
know.
gotten a lawyer right then.
Yes, a free one.
Yeah.
Who would have said, listen,
Don't talk.
this ain't your problem. Here's a little advice from me to you, because I'm a lawyer. It's what I do. STFU.
Yeah, and it was Billy Joe that ended up taking her to the courthouse to confess. The cops didn't even arrest her. They just took her and said, "You're not coming back to my house."
It truly is just so juvenile. It really is. She's Betty to me is an unfortunate like shit soup of problems. She's immature as hell. She's short-sighted. She's not very bright. And she really just, I don't know.
And she's very fucking vindictive
Yes.
in real life. She does
Yes.
shit in real life that we know she does that involves children, your neighbors, your job, your family's jobs, your friends' jobs. Her and JLR both do that,
You know
and they
what?
do it a lot.
And that's why I speak out, because they can't play that shit with me. None
Yeah.
of those things that were just mentioned, they could try all day long. And
That's why I have no mercy for her. You know, if all the other shit hadn't happened, she's really gone after so many people.
it's horrible. You know, that's another thing that's very concerning when you can't. I mean, I say all these things about her, and I absolutely believe all these things about her, but I don't lose sleep over Betty. When I walk out this door, I wouldn't cross my street to cause Betty a problem in real life. I just
Right.
would
But
not.
she's not the same as that. That's
No,
not her.
no, she's not. She's not. But and that is probably why she has the resume she has.
Well, you know, it's like Rock a Lot and I. This thing with that between us, he can go to Kick and talk about what I said and what was done and drag me, and I'm fine with it. It's when people like get to the point where that's not good enough anymore, so they dox you, and they're so mad that they're going to go after your family. That's where I have a problem. I have no problem. I mean, I don't like it, but I'm not going to
Of course.
lose my mind because he's talking shit about me. Just keep it to me here, not what anything about because I'm not going real life. This is,
And
you know,
and you know he's not going to either. That's
well, I don't know him.
well,
And it doesn't matter.
I don't either.
People could go real life on me. They're never going to.
It just, yeah, I don't.
But I'm just saying, even though, because I know what to do when I get the letters and I get, CC'd my neighbors, CC'd,
Oh my
I don't
God.
have a boss, but if I had one, I'm sure, they would CC them.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm going to go
But
on the
it's the
record.
other people that,
I've never met I think 12, 13, it's been at least 13 years. I couldn't tell you my neighbors, and they couldn't tell you who I am.
yeah, no. But it's dangerous that they do that because there might
Oh,
be a neighbor that believes it.
awful. It's terrible. How about when they do this one time and they're going to do it to someone who's maybe trying to stay hidden or
Right,
stay, because they have a real life problem
right.
that they go and throw gasoline on. I mean,
There's domestic abuse survivors that just
yeah,
want to be, I get people wanting to know who I am. I get that. So they
I
can
don't.
drag me and all of that, but drag me here. Drag
Yeah,
me for what I'm saying.
there's
I'm
not
not out
anybody
there.
on here
I'm not a
who I
public
need to know
person
who
like
they
she
are.
is. Yeah. I'm not standing
Exactly.
in front of houses and shit.
Exactly.
And those people that got, drug up her criminal history and all of that, she put herself out there. They knew her name. That was long before me, but if you're a public person and you do shitty things, people are going to drag your personal life
Can you see
because
the
you're a public
chat?
person.
Can you see the chat from Boston Nick?
Let me see. Okay, now I'm there. Let's see.
Okay. I don't.
Review,
I
Boston
think she
Net.
was
Yeah.
speaking more in general. I hope.
Oh, please work it out. Wait, Uni said he was going. No, he didn't. No, Uni never said he was going after family. He's not doxing me. I'm saying normally, like if I were having this back and forth with Betty, her first reaction is to go real life. No argument. not keeping it on YouTube. I didn't say Beauty Rock was doing that at all. Not at all. I'm
Yeah,
saying,
Betty doesn't have any impulse control. I mean,
well, she doesn't have an argument. As long as you have it.
yes, that too.
Yeah, like he's supposedly over on Kick saying blah, blah, blah. Fine. About what I said, about my email. We can argue about that or playing my videos. But when people don't have an argument, like Betty never has an argument, then they go real life. They're just so mad they're going to go get your kids.
Yeah, which is why I've always said it's something stupid people do because it's all they have.
Yeah, and if I'm dragging Betty for this, like we're doing right now, we're not talking about her sister. We're not talking about her mother. We're talking about shit she's saying.
I never have, and I never will.
Right. We're talking about what she's saying on YouTube. That's
and
what
I
she
would
said.
never. And if somebody told me they were going to do that, I would absolutely condemn that publicly. I mean, I would never stand for anyone going real life on her, even though she does it. But you can't have it both ways. It's either good for everybody or good for none. And there's nobody on here that I am dying to know who they are. There truly is not.
Yeah, we know. I wouldn't get off of here and start writing to her sister or try to find her father. It would be easy to do that. It would be easy to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She put her business out there, and that's her choice to do that.
But my argument and my YouTube argument, even though she's gone real life, she's gone after people I know. They're writing letters and all this bullshit. I just turn it in. My friend just turns it in. They make a report. That's it.
That's unacceptable. That is the product of a small, not rational mind. You've already lost. If that's all you've got is doing some dirty pool, well, there you go.
Yeah, Boston. If we work it out, we work it out. If we don't, we don't. I mean, it's just a stupid YouTube thing that didn't need to. I mean, I sat for 3 days, him going on his YouTube, doing his live streams, going on, the shit I was on his community post, and then a whole hour on Twitter. And I mean, I told you, Lisa, that I'm doing this video and I didn't put it out yet. And, there was a point where I wouldn't have had it just stopped, but it didn't stop, to the condescending, comparing me with another channel, that kind of went too far. So, yeah, we might work it out, but
I hope so.
Well, and that's fine. I don't think we're going to be buddies, but
it's not going to be tomorrow. I don't think
it's not. And I think it should be over. I mean, he can say he didn't like it, and he can say, he was sick. Okay. That thing with he was sick, and I understand that, but it wasn't the first time he had done that. And he even admitted he pauses too much. So it wasn't the first time. Who knows who's sick? I mean, a lot of people are sick. That wasn't really like going on. He seemed fine doing the Twitter hour-long diatribe. He wasn't sick then. So I'm not going to, when people feel unwell, it's better to avoid any kind of public speaking. But all this, cannot understand the decision making. Yeah, it wouldn't have been a big deal at all. But when he kept going and going and going without anyone DMing me, my emails right there, I think the Twitter hour is what just put me over the edge, because comparing Dietz and I and saying, I don't transform my videos and I only talk 2 seconds. I worked my ass off on some of
Yeah,
those videos.
that was inflammatory, and it
That was
was.
very inflammatory.
Um,
So that was kind of my, because I'd had the video sitting there. I would have, I've done,
well, I was looking at my text to see how far back. There's a lot of messages that go back and forth. So I could be here for a while trying to figure out, but it was several days. I know that. And
Yeah.
and she did say, I don't know that I'm even going to put it out. So
right.
well, hopefully the dust will just settle. I mean, the best thing that could happen is that no more of this between anybody. It just let the dust settle, and then revisit it at another when feelings are not as raw.
Yeah,
like
I'm not gonna go back and forth with him. I'm just not. I mean, sometimes
Yeah,
people,
no, you said what you had to say, and
Yeah.
I hope he will take the same, the same stance.
yeah, and hopefully it wasn't baiting me to come out. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of creators will try to start some kind of, because it's, people click on it. It's for clicks and views to see, oh, what did he say? Then what did she say back? And what did he say back? No, this is it. I'm not going to make another video, and I'm not going to watch
No,
Kick.
I would not at all.
No, I'm not going to watch Kick. I'm not going to. That's it. I said what I said. So anyway, back to Betty. But Boston, please, no, I never said anything past what I said on the video. That's it. I got no other problems with Unirock.
Oh my God, we're going on 3 hours. We're going to do one more. We're going to let her go until I can't stand it anymore. This one more after I push the play button, we'll let her roll until I'm ready to smack a bitch, which will probably be 37.
There's
Well,
so
I don't
many
think we've
times.
got 37 seconds, but this is going to be our. I hope she's got something good for us, because this is going to be her swan song right here.
Well, did you get to where
Did I get to what?
Where she talks about the euthanizing? Is that on this one?
I don't think that's on this one.
Oh, okay. Because I know it was when she was driving back.
There was another one before this where she was driving. It might have been on there.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Probation and could not pass a P test. She was violating her probation. She didn't need to commit any other crime to be arrested and brought back to jail. That's the only crime she needed to commit to go to jail, was violating probation by pissing dirty, by not having.
Oh my God. Did she just say pissing dirty?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Wow. She's a lady too. I'm sorry. I say, oh, it pissed me off all the time, but no, I don't say pissing dirt. Oh, gross. And she really wanted them to haul her in on a petty probation violation. I mean, she should ask JLR about this. He knows all about doing that, violating probation.
Yeah.
For something little and petty like she did, stealing coins or whatever it was, that would have been one of these, but
it wasn't in their district. It's not even in Hadley's.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it wasn't even in his county. But
Even
the thing,
if it had been.
What she wants them to do, in her mind, she did the same thing with Don Wells. Arrest him, arrest Candace, just get them in there. Then she pictures some movie, maybe CSI does this, I don't watch CSI, but then they go into the interrogation room and they start yelling at them, good cop, bad cop, over a goddamn probation violation. Really? That's what you think they're going to do?
If Lady Justice is still in the chat, can you tell us how quickly if they don't waive speedy trial, how long, what's the time frame before they have to go to trial?
If they don't wait, I think it's 90. I think it's 90 days, but I'm not sure.
I know that. That sounds about right. It's at least 90 days, but I don't think it's much more than.
Yeah.
And what she can't make the leap to that is.
Well, and they're not going to interrogate her They're not going to interrogate her for a murder over a probation violation. You know what I mean? They're not going to get her in there and start questioning her. Did you?
And you know what? I
It has
don't know
nothing
that
to do with
they
it.
would have. Here's the thing. I don't know that they even necessarily would have arrested her on the probation violation. Her probation officer would have just violated her. It would have gone wherever it goes, and then
They
it would
would
have
have
been a court
extradited
order.
her. They would have extradited her back to that county if
For
that's what
something
happened.
that
And
you-
that's
I
what she
doubt.
doesn't understand. Oh,
She-
there she goes. Now we got to get her back. Yeah, because it was a different county, yeah, it's how they would have had to do it.
But you know, they would never have done that for something so petty. And
I know, Mama Bear.
I don't believe it would have ever been an arrest. It just would have been, okay, you're
So
violated. It goes wherever it goes to the judge. Then it would have been a court appearance. And it would have been in something so dumb like that. I mean, my guess would be, okay, we're going to tack on another 3 months, another 90 days of probation for your boo-boo. And this is your last warning. Any
Well,
more
and-
problems, you're going to jail.
yeah, but it wasn't her drinking, even the drug test, failing the drug test. She wasn't arrested for drugs or alcohol or a DUI or anything related to that. So if you look at her probation papers, which I saw, but it's been a while, but I remember there was nothing on it about you can't drink. Of course, you're not supposed to do drugs. I mean, do we need to put that on your probation? You know what I mean? It's like, it didn't say if you fail a drug test that you even have to take a drug test. So
I
she's
mean,
going by her probation that she broke over and over again.
right? And I mean, and all that shit aside, we don't even need to know any of this to know that this is someone who tells you that they're a legal professional, they have a legal education. Well, that means that you are supposed to respect the system and the process. And I heard her say the other day, in fact, I don't know, did we listen to it? I don't think we did. But she wanted to tell you that the way it's supposed to work is that, no, how did she put this? Basically, what she said was the exact way that our system does work, in Betty's mind, it's supposed to work the opposite. So in Betty's mind, they are supposed to arrest you the second they have any reason to.
Right.
And then they're supposed to gather all the investigation. They're supposed to conduct the investigation after they've arrested and charged you.
Guilty before proven innocent.
Is how it works. And what gets me is you may not like how long it takes. We all get frustrated with that. However, if you are any kind of, if you're going to call yourself any kind of legally educated person, how do you shit all over the system that you are supposed to be a part of? And all these procedures are in place for a reason.
Right. At least understand why and how it works. And Mike Stevens, do we realize that? Let's see. Do you all realize Quentin may have been beaten to death by Leilani? Yeah. Why? What does that have to do with anything?
I'm sure he was. I mean, obviously.
Even if he was, it doesn't change how they proceeded with this.
Yeah, I mean.
Wait.
I haven't
His
seen
skull was cracked, Mike. His skull was cracked in several places. Autopsy proved that. Is the autopsy out on Quentin Simon? And it says his skull. I don't, Mike. I'm my first.
I know nothing about any of that.
They found him in such small pieces that I think at first they hadn't found his entire skull, but I think his skull was cracked. His skull could have been cracked because when you, trigger warning, but when you go in the dumpster and then the dumpster is emptied into the truck, it's crushed among all the other trash.
Mike,
so how they would have,
do you
I don't know.
That YouTube's trauma community is not the jury. She's going to get her she's going to get her day in court.
Yeah, autopsy doesn't say that anyway.
And 12 jurors are going to hear all of the evidence, and then they're going to find her guilty, I would imagine. I can't.
Yeah. Even if they can't prove cause of death, there's enough circumstantial evidence. And I think they probably have video of her going, because there were cameras at the dumpster area.
You mean they haven't given us all the information? See?
Oh, those bastards. We want everything.
I'm not even, I haven't seen any of the autopsy. I don't know one thing.
I don't even know that it was released.
And even if it was, and every single thing is the gospel truth, it may very well be. But my God, the woman gets a fucking trial, okay? She doesn't get, Bullhorn Betty's not the prosecutor. I don't understand why you people don't. It's not a matter of, I have no use for Leilani. I think she's a piece of shit. Everything I've heard, I believe what law enforcement says.
But she still deserves a trial. Yeah, like everybody else.
They want to just bypass all that and hang her out in the public square.
I've seen no one. We're assuming that she beat him to death. I don't know that. I mean, he could have drowned. She could have drowned him. She could have given him too much NyQuil.
Yeah, I have no clue what she did.
Yeah, he could have gotten into her drugs and he could have overdosed on him. But we don't know that she was beaten to death, Mike Stevens.
I was never on Leilani's side ever. I mean,
when Mike Stevens,
he says that I was on Leilani's side until I realized FBI said his skull.
That didn't happen. FBI didn't say that. Where did you get that? If his skull was cracked in several places, it could have been very well been because of the compactor.
It doesn't matter if they prove it. I don't whether she did something to cause that, or whether it was whatever it was. If it was at her hands, no matter how. Listen, we don't convict you. Well, I'm not going to say that because we could, but here, I hate to say this because it's callous and I don't mean it to be, but it's the only way I know to get my point across. Dead is dead is dead. You're not going to be any deader. Now, clearly, they will give her the absolute top charge, which I'm assuming is malice first-degree murder.
Malice first-degree murder. Real Lady Justice answered, but it just zoomed right over my head.
Let me see. I can try and get it back.
She says go ahead.
There is no set time frame by number at the next succeeding regular court term thereafter, provided that at both court terms there were juries impaneled and qualified to try the defendant, Georgia statute.
Yeah, see, that just went smooth over my head.
Yeah, it pretty much went over my head too.
I can't take it apart.
At the next succeeding regular court term thereafter provided.
But something starts the clock.
Whatever it is,
there's something that starts the clock. And I don't know, because I know there's
another one. Hold on. Obviously, the speedy trial will be after there is enough time for discovery and the court can block the criminal jury trial time on the docket. Means the defense attorney just keep pushing for firm date. Yeah, I mean, it immediately starts the clock ticking and puts them under the gun and they have to start scrambling. And I thought
it was from the time of arrest and charges, not time of arrest. Charges, they're arraigned. These are the charges you're going to be tried for. And then that's what started it. Then I'm wrong if that's all everything else.
I always thought it was that way too. Mike, I do not dispute that.
Oh, I'm not disputing anything.
Intentionally did it. I mean, I will not be at all surprised to hear that, but I have to hear that from the testimony, not from rumor on YouTube streets. I mean,
Well, it's still a factor.
Nobody's sticking up for her. Nobody's, not at all.
Yeah, they don't do the investigation after the arrest. Is the
Yeah.
is the
Not,
you know,
not ideally. Not. I mean, obviously, some things are, yes, they're going to, but to get her,
there has to be probable cause
the
to
most
arrest.
serious thing. It's the most serious thing they can charge you with.
Yeah, yeah, and they had probable cause. They got a warrant. So
And
plus
I
they
had,
changed malice murder after. Wait, plus they changed malice murder. They have proof she intentionally killed him. Okay, Mike, but the FBI did not tell you, and I'm not even going to look it up before I say this. The FBI did not come out and say that his head was cracked in 2 places and it proved she beat him. Okay, I'm not even going to look it up. I could be wrong, but I don't see the FBI doing that. They're not the ones trying the case.
yeah, I mean, I don't think there's, to me, it's just a matter of, I just want, I absolutely believed
Right.
when law enforcement said they had every reason to believe that she was the cause of his death. I take them at their word.
Yes, I totally believe that.
Yeah, no, nobody's ever see, but this is what Betty does that's so dangerous. She uses all this inflammatory language. She spews a lot of vile words about things that she doesn't even know what she's talking about. And it gets people very,
I think she
riled up.
likes you. Yeah, and I think she likes that. I think she likes
Yes,
it when something she said gets out and goes all over the different chat rooms. I think she likes that.
and it's just not, it's just, listen, we're all humans at the end of the day, and we all say, I mean, do you not think that when I see shit like this in the news, I don't say, put that bitch under the jail, drawn and
Absolutely.
ever drawn and quartered. Like trust me, I've said many times, I can think of a lot of people that I'd go medieval on. Like, I would not even have a problem with it. I'm that chick.
You
But
show me that video of Leilani putting that baby in the dumpster, which I believe is what exists. That's where my mind's going to go. Screw her. Take her now. Put her in the electric chair. No one, anyone that kills a baby, just shoot them right now. But that's what I'm thinking, right? But as far as, yes, she deserves a trial because that's our justice system
yeah,
that
yes.
we used to take Black people into the middle of the street and hang them. That was those days. Do we want those days back?
I saw her
Betty might, but I don't.
truly believe she loved him. I do think she may be innocent, but she definitely needs to be on trial. Mike, I don't even think she's innocent. I'm not even willing to say that.
No, I don't think she's innocent. I just think she deserves a trial to find out.
She deserves a trial. And
Yeah. We deserve to know what
we
happened.
would want one too. We would all want one. I mean, come on, let's be real. There is nobody, they're certainly not in this chat, that would say they want to live under Bullhorn Betty's system of justice. She is reckless, and she actually goes against every constitutional principle. I mean, ask yourself this question. Do you ever wonder why Miss Advocate here, Miss Legal Expert, how come she's never been invited on any real lawyers channel?
None of them.
Great. Man, there are tons of amazing legal commentary channels, and some of them have lay people on. They're not all just
All the time. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're never going to see her on one. I promise you that. I would stake my very life on it.
Ray Hughes is never going to ask her on. Webb's Luce is never going to ask her on. Law and Crime, any of the Law and Crime channels is going to ask her on. And then, they even had Dolly on Court TV, which was crazy, but they wouldn't ask her on because I really don't know why they had Dolly, so I have no explanation for that.
I think they got a lot of shit for that too. Didn't they remove him? Didn't they take that segment?
I think so. Yeah. He's not derailing the live stream, Sarisha. It's okay. And dictated by the assigned judge's docket open and criminal. Real
Oh,
lady
and Lady
justice.
Justice did give us some more. There was another one before that, but it still wasn't that easy to understand. And you see
Yeah.
that? Okay, there's a perfect example. You and I are reasonably intelligent people. One of us, for sure, I don't know if you have legal education. I do. But I still cannot discern what she wrote. Not with just what I know. It's
And will admit it.
yes, of course. My God.
That's the thing. She wouldn't admit it.
Well, that's what makes her a damn fool.
She would just say, real lady justice doesn't know what she's talking about. And I don't know where she's a lawyer at, but she's not a real lawyer and blah, blah, blah.
Warren Betty Law School. Yeah, that's.
So it starts from the
Yeah.
arraignment.
I would never
SVD
pretend
must find.
otherwise. The last two or three comments are pew, completely over my head. Now, if I sat down and really read them and maybe did some Googling, I could probably get it somewhat sussed out in my head. But reading it live, hell no. No.
So I think let me ask real lady justice. I think I know. So she's saying it starts from arraignment. SVD must file demand for a speedy trial. So I know Koberger waived speedy trial, and he did that, I think, at his arraignment. So it doesn't start then, but that's when they say whether they want a speedy trial or not. So when they waive it, we're looking at, however long it takes them. But if they say they want speedy trial, then she's saying it starts when the court has what is called criminal jury term. So speedy trial demand jumps you in line, but still behind the ones before you. So
Okay,
there's that.
you can figure that out. You're please do.
Well, I got a little tiny bit that when what we were thinking, like if they arrested her and she was and then there would be the arraignment, they wouldn't have anything yet. Like they're charging her. Now they have to prove malice. And if she says she wants a speedy trial, now they have only so much time to prove what they don't have. They're not gonna, they can only try her once on murder. Once, that's it. So if they screw that up, I do know double jeopardy would attach.
Isn't
I do know
that
that.
any charge? Any charge is double jeopardy, is it not? Although sometimes they
I
will
don't think so.
dismiss without prejudice. And if they dismiss without prejudice, then they can bring charges again. But that's
I
not,
thought that was with prejudice. Is it without prejudice?
well, with
'Cause I always get them
prejudice,
mixed up.
you cannot ever bring that charge again. Without, they could. Lady Justice, that's hilarious because I was just getting ready to make that point, which is no licensed attorney would ever go on her channel. Her being
No.
everybody.
Or invite her on their channel.
No, because she's ignorant and
There's not even a reputable YouTuber.
No.
YouTube, well, I mean, like,
But that's because they're all stupid. It's not because of Betty. It's because everybody else is dumb.
yeah, I think she went on Okefenokee or something like that. Oklahoma, something. Some woman when they were where the FedEx guy picked up the little girl, not Alexa, there's so many, but the little girl that was picked up by the FedEx driver and killed. She was out there with some creator that I don't think I've ever heard of, but yeah, because she does nothing but.
So good. She's got a real good channel. You know,
Who?
Mystery
Oh, I
Maven.
love Mystery Maven. Absolutely.
She's and very logical as to why you don't do this or why you do that, and
Very good. Yeah.
everybody isn't wrong. This is not a matter of Betty's right and everybody else is stupid and wrong because they didn't go to her law school. So that's we are at 3 hours and 20 minutes. My sciatic nerve is killing me and I can't stand up anymore.
Oh, okay. All right.
It hurts.
All right.
But,
It was fun as always. Okie Crime News, right? Thank you, Amy.
Okay, perfect. And Lady Justice, thank you so much for answering our questions. And
Thank you, Lady Justice. And headstones and headlines. I'm going to go watch your last video. Mike Stevens knows Tuesday.
that's a great channel. And Dis I Am, just
Yes, I am.
in case I forget, anybody can put
Hi,
out
Tuesday, Twin Think.
channels in the, channel links in the chat.
Yes, Mina.
Feel free to do that. You guys, I don't know how to do it.
Teresa, you're welcome.
So anybody that has a wrench is welcome to always do that. Okay.
Okay.
Are you gonna
see y'all later? Thanks.
Yourself out?
I'm going to show myself out.
You yeet yourself. I'm going to yeet Betty. Okay. Okay. That was fun. My goodness. Look at everything we learned. We got some real legal advice, which I very much appreciate. And thank you so much to Burnt Toast for sending people my way, and anybody who came in before and has not been here. I hope you will come back. I appreciate you stopping in to say hello. And sorry, I was just looking for something in the chat before I go. All right, you guys, I hope everybody has a good weekend. And I don't know about Monday. I've got that wedding I'm going to that's out of town. That's a big to do. And I've got to go and I have to go have an emergency alterations job done on dress number 28 and 29. Oh my God, y'all. This I've been on like a quest. I've got all these dresses, and I'm where do you think I'm back to in the dress scheme of things? If you said back to number 1, yes, you would be correct. And I still have a box that need to go back, but I waited too long screwing around to get alterations. I went to my regular dry cleaner and was very surprised to see I pulled up and there was nobody in there. And there was a sign on the door that said permanently closed. And I was like, what? So I went to another dry cleaner not too far away thinking, oh, okay, well, it's a hem. How hard? Because I don't need any like taking in or anything. I just need a hem done. And I went to another dry cleaner and they said, oh, no, it would take about a week. I said, I'll pay extra. And she's like, oh, we send it out. So then she gave me the number of someone that is in the area. God bless this lady. She said, yeah, sure. You can come over Monday at 10 and I'll have it ready for you by Friday. And I'm like, yes. Oh, well, thank you, Steph. I will, I told my husband, I said, I'm going to give you the name and address where I'm going in case I don't come home. And then I thought, oh, well, I always have some mace when I walk my dogs, so I'll probably take that with me just in case, just to be better safe than sorry kind of thing. It is a little sketchy going to someone's house, but I got to get the damn dress hemmed. All right, everybody, y'all have enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you soon. It probably won't be Monday, but it'll be soon. So take care, everybody, and thank you for joining. Oh, I think we should listen to the fabulous intro, the extra. Yes, we're going to listen to it on the way out. All right, kids, have a great day.